Coming up on this episode of Bro, Do You Even Talk Pinball, we've got a deep dive into Galactic Tank Force and then a quick shallow dive into Punny Factory. We also got more stuff, but who gives a shit about that? All of that and more coming right up.
Double Super Jackpot!
I need a ramp. I need a loop. I want targets I can hit. I need the scoop. I need a double super jackpot in my life. That's right.
And now, the Hall & Oates of pinball podcasting, Nick Lane and Kevin Manny of Buffalo Pinball. Whoa, boom shakalaka. What's going on, everybody? It's Bro, Do You Even Talk Pinball for April 2023. I'm Kevin. That's Nick. Bald guy,
Nick.
Skinny guy, nice guy, mean guy, boring guy, interesting guy. I think that's how it goes.
I'm Smug Nick Lane. That's America's next door boy, All-American Kevin Manny. The sweet boy next door. Never done
That's
no
me.
wrong in his life.
Except for, I don't know, there was one guy that didn't like me.
It's rare. Was I talking over the intro?
Yeah, you were. Well, the audience couldn't hear you.
Oh, okay. For the audience, I think the YouTube algorithm dings you if you like curse like early on or something. I don't understand it, but I already like cursed during the intro, so
I think they switched that back, so I think we're good.
Oh, okay.
You can swear on YouTube again. It's good.
We'll see.
America, baby. We do what we
Okay.
want.
All right.
We got a lot to get into. There's not a ton of news, but we got a lot of content to cover. So let's jump right into the news. Here's the tip. It's the latest pinball news. So hot, it's on fire. All right, we're starting out with everybody's favorite pinball machine that's been in the works since. So I went back and I looked through our show notes, and the first mention of this game in our show notes was April of 2019. So over 4 years ago, we started talking about this game. And it's finally sort of here. It's Punny Factory. We're going to do the shallow dive. We finally saw this in stream form, sort of, however much we were able to see through the blurriness and the choppiness. Eventually, they got it figured out. Did you watch much of the stream, Nick?
No, I was actually delivering Foo Fighters over to Masuda Chow's. So
Oh,
I
you missed it.
Yeah.
I can give you a little preview here. So
Yeah.
they had Robert Gagno here, and he looked thrilled to play it.
He
And
kept on.
here,
I
let
saw
me-
I saw like 30 seconds or whatever, and he just kept on shooting like the right orbit.
Yeah,
That's
it
all
seemed
I
like
kinda saw.
you got basically two shots on it that you want to shoot, the left and the right orbit. Because if you don't, and you hit something else, it's gonna rocket into the outlanes and you're gonna be done. So that's what he did.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what a good player would do. Like
Yeah.
I think I made a joke and said it should be called Kazoo Factory, which I don't think the sound effect is a kazoo. I forget what that.
It's like that little whistle, the spinny whistle thing.
Yeah, like it just constantly.
Yeah.
It's so grating, dude.
Yeah. So that was Punny Factory. Yep. I have to say, it's pretty much exactly what I would have expected from that game. After seeing the playfield
Sure.
for 4 years and is hearing all the call outs that he put on his website and all the fake Don Knotts that I'm sure he didn't license and all that stuff. So
Such a weird thing, Don Knotts. Like such an out of touch. Like I love it. It's just
I
like
know.
who is this game for?
it's for him.
Who's the audience? It is,
Andrew.
yeah, sure.
It's for-
Yeah, which
it's
is fine. You can make a game for yourself, but if you're trying to sell it to the public, like, I don't know.
They're up for sale now. You can. I think they got the price listed here. Wait. Oh yeah, here we go. Standard edition $6,500 US. Engraved edition $7,000. Can we just pause for a second and look at how huge that apron is? Is that like massive to you?
Let's see. It's
Oh,
not
yeah,
showing.
I have to swap it over. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, it does. I mean, those flippers are also misaligned in that picture.
that's the attention to detail they put in their promo photos. They didn't even line
Yeah.
up the flippers.
Hey, listen, I'd love to play it. It's I don't know.
I mean, it's kind of legendary for us at this point. We have to play this
Yeah.
at some point. Who's buying a Punny Factory so we can come out and stream it?
Nobody. That's the
Nobody.
problem.
Apparently,
even-
they were showing this later in the stream, and the apron is 3D lenticular printed, so the wrecking ball actually like moves when you move your head and stuff. And of course, the inside of the cabinet is printed on and stuff. I don't know if they have pictures of that in here, but no, they don't. Because of course it is. Yeah, Punny Factory.
Is James buying it? Because that's like games. Like,
no,
just
I'm gonna go
toxic
ahead and
if
say no.
gonna
He's not
buy
buying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're just you gotta put like a trigger warning or something. I didn't realize we had to do this, but like people lose their minds when we talk bad about pinball machines, Kevin. Like you're supposed to, according to Pinside, there's no bad games.
Yeah, if you're a all pinball is good pinball kind of person, I ask you, is every movie good? Is all music good? You know what I mean? Is every TV show good? No, there's varying levels of quality in all of these things, right?
Well, you can't. Good doesn't exist without its opposite of bad. Like, how can something be good if you can't compare it to something else? Like, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
It makes no sense. I know it's like talking logic with that, but yeah. So, what can I say? God, I wish we were doing this on. There's a good and bad about doing this late after a day of work. I'm a little more tired and stuff, so maybe a little emotionally subdued.
Yeah.
And not on like a Saturday morning when I just had coffee, but I'll probably get myself in less trouble this way. So.
Yeah, I feel like you'll ease into it a little bit.
Yeah.
You'll get fired up later on. I feel like.
Oh, great.
That's good. So yeah, hang on. Let's go through the who's who a little bit more here. So it's game design by Dave Sanders, everybody's favorite pinball machine designer, Dave Sanders. Has 2 flippers, a vary target, 3 pop bumpers, 3 drop targets, 17 stand-up targets, 1 vertical up kicker, and a kickback. Oh, and the interactive smokestack system that emulates factory smoke. Yeah, it does. What about elements, though? Did you look at this one at all? Because not only does he have
They
one
actually
game,
have something for it now?
He's got a second game coming. You can be a Valkyrie or a knight or something else. You can battle. Oh, this is battle the deadly elements. Wood, the deadly element of wood. It's very scary and intimidating. Metal and water. You're gonna battle the things, and there's gonna be pew, pew, and fire. Yeah, pinball elements. So yeah, Punny Factory's not even out, and they already got their nice game.
It's interesting.
Tito.
Of course he does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But don't forget Sushi Mania and Ninja whatever View is also. Remember all those games he had?
Of course. Who could forget those?
All right. Well, if you're not hype enough for Punny Factory and you got your wallets out for that, you can also order their pin board. Apparently, they have a.
I just want to say also, I'm so hung up on something. The all pinball's good pinball. I hope all those people need to buy this game, right? Like,
there you go.
We're gonna go to their collections, and you're gonna see that they buy all these games. It's funny how they say that.
Yep.
Are you gonna buy this game? Oh no.
Yeah. All the original theme people. Here you go. Here you go.
Original theme. Here you go. Not that way. No, that game. Not that theme. I love it. It's so hilarious. I'm on original theme, but not that theme.
That's why nobody makes original themes.
Yeah, exactly.
You got into that on Pinside, I saw, about why people don't buy original themes or why there aren't more original themes.
I've never been so active on Pinside. It's in you get 5 game releases. There's a lot going on, right? So I was, for better or for worse, I was more active on that site in the last month.
All right, you want to talk Pinboard? Pinboard's pretty exciting. Pinball Adventures presents a robust and sophisticated hardware platform for modern pinball needs, and we call it the Pinboard. Rather than being geared towards resurrecting beloved games of the past, the Pinboard is focused on current technology and requirements. Coming soon. Yeah. So if you need, there aren't enough different pinball board sets out there. They had to make their own, I guess. So
Hool says that Dave Sanders made Full Throttle and had a hand in Alien. So I guess he's got some pinball experience. Clearly.
All right.
Full Throttle was fine. I mean, those games are fine. I don't particularly love them, but
What happened with Punny Factory though?
It just looks like
it's a street level game. Well, I guess it's not because you got that little up kicker. But
yeah, I mean, just call me skeptical, right? And everything related to this game, call me skeptical. That's all. How many are they making of this? They set amount, or
hopefully not very many. 110 of the standard editions and 10 of the engraved editions.
Fatty Cake said 24 sold.
Wow.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Okay.
You know, they also had that list on their website where they had like the progress of the games being made, where, you know, there was some guy, Bob, who was number one, and he he had 100% build for like 3 years now or something. I don't know.
Yes,
I don't believe anything coming out of this company.
I got a question in chat. Nick, what's up? We need some streaming from your house. Well, thank you.
That's what we're doing right now.
I appreciate that. I probably like pinball. I don't do the solo thing. I got too much going on. This Kevin's much better at the solo stream than I am. I love bro. Like, I love the podcast and I love bro. I think that's where I shine. So I kind of stick to my lane. No pun intended.
Hey-o.
But thank you. Thank you. We did a lot of streams from my house on Bro earlier in the year. We did a lot of my collection. So
yep. All right, let's go on to the next topic. We're gonna shoot over to another amazing looking pinball machine. Oh man, did you watch the trailer for This Is Spinal Tap?
I did.
All right.
Yeah.
We're gonna just kind of run it here while we.
So this is not home. Did Homepin produce this, or this was the distributor produced this?
So apparently, Homepin is not marketing this game at all. So they're leaving the marketing to their distributors.
Okay.
So this is what their distributor came up with, and they have a model playing the game. I think mostly looking at the game, bending over the game. Quick shots of the game. You get to see the backglass. She's rolling her eyes a lot for some reason. I don't understand why.
Because she's playing that game.
Because she's playing Spinal Tap, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, she looks very surprised in some of the shots. Yeah, this game looks terrible. So, again, for the all pinball is good pinball, go ahead and buy yourself a Spinal Tap. All right.
Yep.
Get one of these free.
The all pinball is good pinball. We got to keep a list of these folks, and I want to see a Spinal Tap. I want to see a GTF. I want to see a Punny Factory. You know, you vote with your wallets. You can.
That's right.
Talk is cheap. Talk is cheap.
This game. Yeah.
This is I had a joke in the GTF thread about, like, somebody was saying that there was a claim that Galactic Tank Force sold 2,000 units, which I think that's just a rumor. I don't think anybody made that statement, but you know, my joke was if that was true, then the Fed's going to raise basis points by 75 bips. All right, there's too much fucking money floating out there. All these games are getting made. This is insane.
The rumor I heard was that Dave Fix said that they made 2,000.
Somebody said that. I mean, I want to see I want to see receipts, right? Like,
yeah.
Let's see some proof that he said that.
That's fair. That's fair.
Let's be fair to Dave.
How could you not say yes to that? I mean, that game looks amazing. All right. So that's Spinal Tap. That's all we got on that. we had to show the trailer a little bit because it was so terrible. And if that's not enough, Nicolene, are you ready for another new pinball company?
No. Am I ever ready?
Are we ready? This prompted me to check in our recent favorite, Ballerama. And Ballerama update, I checked, and they have a grandkid, and they haven't updated their Instagram in like 7 weeks. So congratulations on the grandchild, but absolutely no progress on the pinball machines from what we can tell. But with that, let's jump into the next new mystery pinball company. This is a company. So the guy who won the award for favorite homebrew pinball machine during the Twibbies at Texas Pinball Festival, creator of the outstanding homebrew game Elf, Bob Nees, was wearing a shirt that said Tilt Bob Pinball. So Bob is setting up a pinball company called Tilt Bob Pinball in Florida. He currently has a small team of people, including Paul, working with him and an investor. So that's good. He's got an investor. Okay. Hopefully the investor has lots of money and likes to lose a lot of money because that's what you do in pinball. He plans to do all the work on his upcoming games in-house, including cabinetry, mechanical, software, playfield production, and printing. He's particularly focused on producing his own playfields because this is probably the biggest area of complaints in the industry right now.
God bless him, dude. I mean,
that's a lot.
Go ahead, Kev. I mean,
the Tilt Bob Pinball is currently working on building a pinball machine with an original theme. It has a potential license for a theme as well. No, it's not Elf. Their initial focus will be family-friendly comedic themes. They're planning to have 3 or 4 prototype pinball machines ready for next year's Texas Pinball Festival in March. They currently have a working whitewood of the game, but it's a little early for them to share pictures with us. The game supposedly has a lot of cool mechs. It has some cool mechs, TM, that have never been done before. They hope to start showing some teaser images of the game and their shop, quote, in a couple months. So thank you to, that comes to us from Nap Arcade. Here we've got, I think there's some pictures. So till Bob Pinball. There's the Elf machine. I've not played that one. I got to play Nightmare Before Christmas at PinBrew. That was cool. I have not played Elf yet, but I've heard a lot of people dig this game. So there you go. That's Elf and Tilt Bob Pinball. Nick Lane, what's a you about yet another pinball company?
I mean, we get accused of being all sorts of bad things for being negative and stuff, and it's like, you know, you and I combined have a couple decades worth of experience heavily into pinball, right? Like we've seen a lot of shit. We've played almost every pinball machine out there, right? Like we've got a lot of experience. So yeah, we're a little jaded and skeptical of this. We know how difficult it is to launch a pinball company, and even the ones that are new and launch, a lot of times they're not great games. They have a lot of issues, right? We've seen more failures than successes, and even the ones that, quote unquote, again, do launch, they're usually like a lower tier than a Stern or JJP. So super skeptical. It's hard. God bless the guy. He's got some balls doing that and launching it with everything he's got. He's going to do his own playfields and stuff. This stuff is not easy. He's already built a game that's great, more than, you know, you and I can do. I remain skeptical until I see an amazing product, right? And I will continue to be skeptical. And if I had to put money on it, this is not going to work out. But I would love to be proved. I would love to be proved wrong. I want more pinball. Like, and I was thinking, saying this earlier. Maybe it was on Pinside. I don't want my choices just to be, am I going to get a Stern or a JJP? Like, I'd love another option, but so far there really hasn't been a good other option based on my standards. Although I will say I do want to get, and we'll talk about this game more, Pulp Fiction. So I'm stoked that there's another option now that I can get to diversify my collection a little bit. Love Stern games, love JJP games, great. But you know, sometimes you want something a little bit different. The companies that are doing something different just aren't up to snuff. They're not doing something different, but at the same caliber of like JJP and Stern. That's the problem. And I doubt that this company will.
You know what I would love? I would love a new pinball company to come out and be like, here's our first game. It's in a box. You can buy it now. You know what I mean? Without all the rigmarole. Get everything up and running. Have, 10, 15 of them in a box ready to go. Sell them. I mean, that's kind of what Nick Baldridge did with his Drain game, but that's on a much smaller scale, right? That's a lot more manageable when you're just building a module. But, scaling up an entire pinball company, having the manufacturing facility, having the staff, doing all the coding and the sound and the animations and all that stuff. Man, just have it ready to go and let people buy it, let people play it, without all the shenanigans. You know what I mean?
So much shenanigans. So much shenanigans. But you know what? Hey, this is why we get together once a month and just shoot the shit between two friends and put a mic in front of our mouths and ship it off into the internets and say, if anybody else wants to hear these ramblings, enjoy.
Can I just say thanks? Our downloads and listens and views have been great on the podcast lately. So thanks everybody for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you guys.
So glad you're enjoying. All right, that's the end of the news. You ready to talk about some of the new games we played?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's start out with a good one. All right,
on a high note. Yeah,
they're all good.
Positivity.
Sorry. All good. Also, everybody pay attention. These are impressions. We're not reviewing games. We're giving first impressions. We played some games. Played a few games. We played a lot of Godfather because we own it, so we could review it, but we're not going to yet.
But we're going to talk about... So we can't review... So here's the deal.
Yeah, they're a sponsor, so we're not going to. So, speaking of, we never thanked our sponsors, did we?
Oh, no, we didn't.
Let's do that before we get into our impressions. All right. Go ahead.
All right. Premier partner, Pin Stadium lighting kits for your pinball machines. Use coupon code Buffalo, save 10%. They got the new Pin Stadium Neo Adams, lower profile. I think they look fantastic, right? They're super bright, super easy to set up. For whatever reason, there's been a number of, even with all the LEDs out in games, there's a number of dark games that are still being released. These games typically have a lot of good art. I'm looking at you, Stern, and Pin Stadiums really helped to make them pop and look good. So highly recommend Pin Stadiums. Shout out to other sponsors, Comet Pinball for LED lights, Flippin' Out Pinball. That is the go-to distributor, best service in the industry, bar none. And we got Pinball EDU. Go to pinballraffle.org, buy a raffle ticket for a chance to win a pinball machine. Titan Pinball for silicone rings. There's tools. There's mats. There's pinballs to replace, pitted or rusted pinballs. Multimorphic. That's Kevin's. Kevin's a big Multimorphic fan. They got the new Final Resistance coming out. Forward to playing that. Jersey Jack Pinball maker, most beautiful pinball machines on the planet. And finally, Pinside.com. Pinside.
Nick's been loving Pinside lately.
Yes. I didn't know this, but you can send hate mail. You can DM. You can slip into somebody's DM with some hateful messaging. That's Pinside.com.
You can do that on Pinside. All right. Let's talk about Godfather. We both really like
Please.
Godfather to the point where we both bought this game. So
Yeah.
let's check out some Godfather and talk about it. What do you love so much about the Godfather? I know you love it. You've been all over this game.
Yeah. Happy to talk about this game. I think this game is at best a masterpiece, at worst just short of or shy of a masterpiece. Only time will tell. Why do I love this game? Where do I begin, Kevin Manny? First of all, this is my even though Jersey Jack's a sponsor and like all those guys shield Jersey Jack, it's like, well, I mentioned them as a sponsor on a podcast, right? But I vote with my wallet, and this is my first Jersey Jack since Pirates in 2018. The other titles just didn't appeal to me for reasons, right? But this game, when I saw Carl stream, it really resonated with me. And sometimes I think I've spent enough time in this hobby to get a good sense of watching a game when I think I know I'm going to like it. Got to play at your house and then ordered it immediately. And I think that Jersey Jack really has turned a corner in this game. Number one, the flippers feel great. They feel perfect. I'm aware of the complaints that they feel previous titles, they felt a little soggy. They're not that crispness of a Stern, and I get that, right? That never prevented me from buying a Jersey Jack, but I understand. I always kind of gave the nod to Stern for having the best feeling flippers. I think with this game, again, they turned a corner. The flippers feel perfect. They feel really good. This game is really it's really fast, and I appreciate the speed in it. Not only in the ball movement, but in just the pacing of it. When it holds onto the ball, the scenes and clips are not long. The ball just seems to always be moving along. Even the bonus screens kind of move along really quick. For whatever reason, I like that. But ultimately, the two main things that really draw me into this game are, I guess I am a fan of multipliers. I think multipliers, if done right in a game, really appeal to me. It really makes the scoring dynamic and interesting, and it helps break up kind of the monotony of playing a pinball machine, because when you've got multipliers, you can really affect the scoring no matter where you are necessarily, in modes or in the game. It doesn't feel samey to me. And then it has another rule feature which I really love, and that's kind of the press your luck feature, risk reward of deciding to either keep on going in a mode or cashing out. And those two things are what I love in terms of rules. It's the multiplier I loved in Led Zeppelin, but it didn't have the cash out thing. This game has great multipliers, and it has the cash out risk reward. Absolutely love that. Those two things alone are important to me. I tend to like open play fields where the shots are way back. It's got that, but the shots they seem tight but very findable, but then they also have some really satisfying, a little more challenging shots, like the compound shot. It's you think you know where it is, but then you miss it, and it's a little risky because it's by a pop bumper. So it's a really good, it's in a really good location on it. It's kind of right there, right? But I'm scared to go for it. unless I'm in multi-ball. The diverters in this game keep you on your toes. I forget how many. I think there's like 26 different shot paths or something crazy like that. So the diverters keep things fresh in terms of the way the ball's moving around in the playfield. And I think that also contributes to the speed. It keeps you on your toes. It's a little unexpected. I like that, right? It's fresh. I can't think of another game that does it to that level, does it to that extent. So there's a lot going on in this game, even though there doesn't seem to be a lot of things on top of this game and on the surface of it. I think the art's beautiful all over. And I don't even like mob themes in general. Like when I heard The Godfather was announced, I did not think I'd be getting this game until I actually saw it and played it. Deep rules, plenty of different strategies and ways to approach it, which make the game really good in the home. And I think also really interesting in tournaments. You can get locked out of picking a family. If you pick it, your opponent can't pick it. Like 10 different super skill shots that you can choose. So like when you use those, when you don't. I don't know, man. It's got like it for me as a player, it ticks all those boxes. Trying to think, I think how would somebody criticize it, or what are some criticisms that I see that maybe don't really bother me but are worth bringing up. I think the first one is going to be, it's a Keith Johnson, so it's heavy multi-ball, and that's true. I think it's not just that it's heavy multi-ball. Like, I was playing Rush the other day, and I was like, I'm like always in multi-ball and Rush, right? Like, or like Led Zeppelin, I'm always in multi-ball. I think the difference in terms of what's happening on games like that and why this feels different is this game, like Pirates does this. It's like everything all the time, all at once. Like in this game, in the Keith Johnson game, in Godfather, you're never locked out of something. If you're in one multi-ball, you can start another multi-ball. And you can also start a mode. You're never, like, in a Stern game, typically, if you're in a multi-ball, you probably can't start a mode. Or if you're in multi-ball, you can't start this other multi-ball. So things are kind of staggered out in terms of happening. I think, if I would say, what's the good about that approach? Well, the good about that approach is it's easier to focus on what's happening in the moment in that mode or in that multi-ball. When you play a game like Godfather, especially when you're first playing it and you're just starting a multi-ball and you just start another multi-ball and then you start a mode, it can kind of get chaotic and you kind of don't really understand maybe what's going on in the game and where these points are coming from until you've played it more and spent more time with it. And I've had it for like, 2 weeks now, maybe 2.5 weeks, and I'm really starting to understand. It's starting to click. It's starting to make sense. But I can see why that's overwhelming. It's hard for me to say, like, personally, do I prefer one approach over the other? Like, to me, I like the diversification in my collection. I don't want every game to be on locked out of a mode. Like, I think Deadpool really frustrated me because I'd be like, I'm in this multi-ball. I just want to move on with the game. So I'm almost looking forward to draining if I'm just trying to get through it. The good thing on Godfather is, like, you don't feel that, like, I just want to drain out this multi-ball because you could still progress through the game. But I think the downside of, like, everything all at once is it doesn't create, like, moments. Like Mandalorian, after you drain out a multi-ball, there's, like, in some of the multi-balls, there's, like, a super skill shot lid, and, like, there's all, like, like, so many points on the table, and you got to hit that shot. So it's good and bad. I like both. But I'm super pumped to have this game. If you can't tell, I'm excited. I think I told you, Kev, like, when I got that game and was delivered and Kevin helped make that delivery possible, I was like, this is the first time in so many years that I've really been excited to get a game. Since Pirates, I've gotten a bunch of Stern games. I got Black Knight, Sword of Rage, great, Mandalorian, Godzilla,
Rush.
Deadpool was in there, Rush, right? Like Led Zeppelin, like, fun. Like, and those games, it's like, I'm getting a pinball machine, and they're fun, and I've given them good reviews and liked it. This is the most excited I've been for a pinball machine in a long time. So call me a shill if you want, but at the end of the day, I vote with my wallet, right? And again, I didn't buy the other Jersey Jack game, so I'm happy to go on record just encouraging people to spend some time with it, check it out. Maybe it's not your cup of tea for all the reasons I mentioned, and I understand. I think another downside that somebody might say about the game is that like the toys might seem lacking. Like I'm fine with it. It's the gangster moves. Shoots his Tommy gun. You go on the top and you use the flipper buttons to kind of spin it and do damage to him. It's okay. You know, like, is it the best toys in the world? I think Pirates' toys better. There's other games better toys, but totally fine with it. I love the look. I love everything about this game. It's super good. I went on really long, Kevin, but I want to go on record because I want to see more games. But last thing.
Yeah.
Last thing I want to say before I forget. So I know when Steve Ritchie went over to JJP, people are like, oh, you know, how is he gonna make the games that he likes to make with, you know, the kind of the flippers that are a little soggy. I don't know what you want to call it, right?
Right.
I don't think there's any concern anymore. This is totally different,
rips, man.
Totally rips, totally different ball game. I'm actually now like, I'm excited to see what Steve Ritchie's gonna put out. It's a game changer. And my other recommendation, because I was over at Kevin's house, and Kevin, your game felt really slow after playing mine. Look at the instructions that come up. It recommends setting the bubble to the second line on there. Do that. Make sure that you have it at least by the flippers a 7-degree pitch. It makes a world of difference. I love the speed on mine, and if you want a slower game, fine. But that's what they recommend on it. It made a huge difference, Kevin. I couldn't believe it. Just that a few degrees in pitch. Yeah.
So I love getting back to like the toys. I'll just hit on a few of the things because I echo a lot of the sentiment that you've given. The gangster toy, like he's really cool. Like him turn around and people always comment on how they like the fact that his machine gun, the end of his machine gun lights up. So that's cool. I do like that it's an interactive toy. So the first couple times you shoot it in there, it just kind of goes in and does some damage and comes back out. But eventually it's going to stay in there. And then you got to flip the flippers, and there's some skill to how you have to flip the flippers to do damage. So you can just flail around, but if you're better at it, then you can do more damage. So I like that it's an interactive toy. It's not super satisfying, I would say, to do that always, but it's cooler than just some passive thing that does something. Between that and then all the diverters, like you mentioned, all the shot paths. And I just love the area behind or above the right flipper where there's the pop bumper, there's the lane, the 3 targets, and then there's the compound. That's such a cool, like, interesting area and different configuration than you usually see on a pinball machine. And I love interesting, unique playfield layouts like that are still fun to play, right?
Yeah, so a pro tip on the spinning bad guy. I asked Eric, you know, how that kind of works. So the flipper buttons control it. You don't want to push them both at the same time or just mindlessly bang them. The left will spin it like either counterclockwise or clockwise, and the right will do the opposite. And you only do damage so if you get the ball just spinning around hugging the side, it's not going to do much. You only do damage when it hits the tilt bob, like the mechanism in the middle of the bad guy. So you want to kind of play around with it. He was saying that he got so good at it, like he could kill the bad guy in like one go around up there, that he made it so after you do so much damage, it will stop that. I'm pretty much at that point. Again, it's not the most super. I'm middle of the road on that thing. I think it looks cool. I think if you're watching it, I like how the sculpt looks as a gameplay function. It's cool to have there. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but it's certainly not bad. I'm glad it's there. I'm not a huge like, oh, I need an amazing toy guy, but I'm glad it doesn't really slow the game down either. Like I don't like the building is cool on Godzilla falling, but now I'm like it's just slowing the game down. I think again I've said my favorite toy on Godzilla is the bridge. Actually, I think that's cool.
Yeah,
anyways,
that's cool.
Hopefully that helps. I like Saul Hudson said a nice comment. He's like, I like hearing Nick's thoughts because I just run the opposite way, which is great. Like it's like, oh, like I kind of like games opposite of Nick, so it's helpful to know that this is not a game for me. So providing some help there.
Well, it's weird. He should come in here and tell you how dumb you are for not liking the same things he does.
My
He's
favorite
not doing this right.
No, my favorite people are people who can disagree with me and kind of show why, or maybe if I'm missing something about a game. Like that's awesome. Like, you know, that's how it should be.
We've said it before. You're allowed to like different things, and so are we. You know,
yeah,
it's all good.
It's cool.
All right. So yeah, definitely get some time in on the Godfather. We love it. Definitely check it out. Let's move on to Final Resistance. This is a game I got to play before anybody. So since the last podcast, I got to go down to Texas with my friends down at Multimorphic and do the reveal stream of Final Resistance with Scott Denisi and crew. What a fun game. It's so this is Scott's he kind of described it as his take on Attack from Mars. And you can kind of see it when you're playing it, but it's got he's taken a different approach to a P3 game from what we've seen before. He's taking it back to more of a traditional pinball feel. So there are persistent inserts on the play field. You turn on the game, there's inserts on there. They stay there the whole time, even during attract mode. So it kind of simulates a traditional wooden play field a little bit more. But there's also like kick-ass animations and particle effects and stuff that happen around those inserts. So it's kind of the best of both worlds, in my opinion. It's approachable from I know pinball and pinball has inserts and the inserts tell me what to do sort of approach. But it also kind of integrates some of the things that only the P3 can do. And it also brings in other elements of his games, like the countdown timer between the flippers. It puts the scores down at the apron, like is standard on Multimorphic games. But then it's also like in the module itself, it's got these really cool toys, like, the massive cannon that fires the ball back at you at an insane pace. I'm trying to remember. So we did a slow motion video test of the cannon, and it shoots 3 balls in less than half a second. I think is what it was. It was crazy. So it moves real fast. That's the ship there in the back right. What's also cool is the far right shot. It can go 2 ways. It can just be an orbit shot, or there's a diverter back there that can switch it over, and it becomes a kickback, and it fires back at you like Yagov or the War Machine on Iron Man or whatever. And that thing, man, I feel like that thing's like even crazier than the cannon. It just it's crazy. But what's cool is like during multi-ball, you can build up that kickback shot and then cash it out. You're talking about like risk reward in Godfather. This is a great feature of this too. And when I think my high score was around 25 million, if I'm remembering right. And that was because I like crushed this multi-ball. You can stack the 2 multi-balls. So there's like behind the drop target, you can stow a ball for, so you can kind of see it here, the drop target. You can stash a ball back there, and then during a mode, you can bring it in a second ball as quote unquote reinforcements. But you can also stack that with the 3-ball multi-ball, which is cool. So you can make it a 4-ball multi-ball that multiplies your jackpots, and you can also build up value towards that kickback cash out too. So there's cool scoring in the multi-balls, but there's also really fun modes. Like there's I was able to complete the mode where you launch the rocket and take out the ship. That one's really cool. There's like the fuse. I'm trying to remember. It's been a little while since I played it, but really fun modes. It's got a countdown LED readout by the spinner that counts down to super spinners. It's got 2 orbits, two ramps, the left ramp, which is pretty obvious, and then the right ramp, which is less obvious. It's kind of hiding behind the ship, but there's a visor that comes down in front of the ship, and once you raise that up, it opens up the lock shot and also the right ramp, which is cool. And both shots feel really good. Both ramp shots feel really nice. It's just a great fun layout. As you would expect with a Scott Denisi game, it's got amazing sound and music. If you haven't checked out the reveal stream, it's up on YouTube. It's still the only video of this game on YouTube, so check it out. There's timestamps on the video, and you can jump to the last game that I played, and you can actually just listen to the game music and audio itself. It's so good. You guys are going to dig this. If you like TNA and the music in that game and the sound package, this is even better in my opinion. I'm planning on hooking up some. Well, actually, I did hook up a subwoofer to my P3 finally, because especially for this game, it's gonna be a great sounding game, and I'm looking forward to finally having a Scott Denisi game in my collection. Like, did you get to play this at PinBrew at all, or no?
Regrettably, I only played it once.
Okay. What was your first impression? Did you get anything going? Did you get the multi-ball going or anything?
No.
Okay.
Did not. So I figured I'd play it, when you get it, so I didn't spend too much time on it.
Yeah, it'll be better in a home environment anyways, where you can hear it and everything,
How much is it?
What is the price? I think it's at the top of this article. Hold, please. Nope, it's not there. I forget. I think it's around 3,000.
Okay.
I'll just go to the store here and look. Game kits, multimorphic game kits. So it's a $500 pre-order, $3,400 for the full game.
Cool.
Nice. All right, so that is Final Resistance. Definitely check that out. And I'm stoked to get mine. They're gonna start shipping in May. Yeah, that's what Jerry said. So the pre-order's open if you want to get in on that. All right, let's talk Pulp Fiction. I know this one is one Nick is hyped for. We got to play this one at PinBrew too. What do you think about this game?
So I was definitely interested in this game. It's been so long since we did our last podcast. I think at best we had a blurry photo. And a couple days later, they did the reveals trailer of it, and I was like, "Oh, this looks great." And then followed by that, they had an hour-long, straight down the middle, did a really good job of like this hour-long production, interviewing and talking about the game, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I liked everything that the design team was saying. I liked how Josh Sharp was talking about how games have gotten away from kind of, I think the way he phrased it was like creating moments in a game, something like, bringing a smile to your face, that kind of deal. And, he's definitely right to an extent. I like the way the games are today, but I also miss some of this stuff. And it was great playing it at PinBrew. I'm really glad they had two of them there. Mark Ritchie was there, and some of the other design team, some of the other folks from Play Mechanics. And
Butch Peel was there. We were hanging out with him. He was showing us how to play.
Just, really, really brought a smile to my face playing this game. Really just fell in love with it. Really kept on wanting to go back and playing it more. I just need to have this in my collection. I actually just watched Pulp Fiction again this past weekend, because it's been since probably 94 since I saw it. So got to watch it on the big screen that I have in my home theater, and it got me hyped even more. But
it's such a good movie, dude.
Yeah, and you got David Thiel doing the audio.
Oh yeah.
So the voice lines are hilarious, and the timing and the kind of teasing like the audio clips. When you lock a ball for briefcase multi-ball, and it's just so good. It brings back some of that magic of pinball that they were really good at, I think, in the 90s, even though this is modeled after a game in the 70s. It's kind of got like a game that looks like from the 70s, but has the sensibilities of some of the stuff from the 90s, and then also like, the lighting of today, right? And maybe some of the rules from today. So, man, what a great way to launch a game, right? You pick a great theme, you have a solid trailer, then you have a well-produced hour-long special on it. Then you bring it to shows and the thing works and everybody has a blast on it. The only knock I'm going to say is that we've got to wait till the fall for this to start getting produced. That's the only knock, right? Like going back to JJP turning a corner, they announced the game, they showed it, and then the games were ready to buy like the next day. Like I wish that was going on with this. That's hardly a knock. It's just a wish, because actually I don't have money for this game now, so it doesn't matter. But
it's for the best, actually. Yeah, let people buy all the stuff right now, and then we'll have some money in the fall for.
Definitely worth getting hyped for this. I almost rolled the thing too.
I know.
At the end of the night, I was getting through almost all the game, for better or for worse. But
is that scary at all? As a player, I guess you can make it harder when it's in your house, right?
I asked Josh Sharp, and he said I think in 3 years that he's had it, that they've been testing it, he's only done it like 3 times, like 2 or 3 years. He's only done it like 3 times. So sometimes you just catch a wind, and you kind of. I was definitely in the flow state, and I couldn't lose a ball.
You're in that post tournament, like nothing matters. I'm just gonna play this.
Exactly. Yeah. So not really. I know that this game is obviously going to be more limited than a game of ramps, right? That can just do more and extend the game time and stuff. But I don't know, man. This game brings joy to my life, and I want it.
That's awesome. I kind of want one too, but I'm glad like you and Patrick are both getting it, so I can play yours. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
There's no reason for 3 of us to buy this game. Yeah, I'll get something else, even though it's really cool. I love the theme. I had a blast playing it. I love the mix of retro and modern. It's kind of like they snuck in a lot of modern stuff. So it feels like a street level game, but it's really not because it's got the wire form that kicks it up into the back box and stuff. And there's a bunch of subways and stuff. So they could kind of get away with, the story is Tarantino wanted an old style game, but it's got a lot of stuff from more modern games in there, especially rules wise and lighting wise and stuff like that. So, it's a really fun game.
I thought their explanation, and not that maybe this was intentional, maybe it's a happy accident, but yeah, Tarantino wanted a game that looked like it was from the 70s. And then they talk about how it's got, some modern sensibilities, which is kind of like the movie, right? The movie looks like there's a lot of things that looks like it's in the 70s, but it's really in what was present day in 94, right? You look at everything that's going on, the cars and stuff, and that's kind of like how it is. It's got that 70s vibe to it, but it got the modern sensibilities.
Yeah,
the lighting was great, by the way. Lighting looked great in all the modes.
Yeah,
so good.
It was really cool. Or like when you lock a ball, and I would do like the green wash over it for the ball lock and stuff like that. And they also did really neat stuff with those displays. So they would do like little animations and stuff on the alphanumeric displays and things like that. So it was good. It was good.
Martha she saw Pulp Fiction for the first time on Friday, and she's
How'd that go?
She's like, "Is the Gimp in the game?" I was like, "You're goddamn right. He gets a multi-ball."
He's front and center, baby. He's right on those drop targets. He's right there. See those drop targets? That's him.
That's right.
Yeah.
No Bruce Willis, though, man.
He's kind of on the back box. Like, he's like, right, just to the
he is.
right.
It's weird that Mr. Wolf and Jimmy, who are less in the movie, are featured, but not Bruce Willis as much.
I listened to an interview with Butch Peel on the way to PinBrew, and I can't remember the reason why. There's something with the royalties or the licensing. That's what. Well, I mean, the trade-off is you get Jimmy in the game, and I know that really makes you happy. So.
Yeah, I'm happy to have little Jimmy.
Jimmy, good old Jimmy. So good job, CGC. We're you gotta start cranking these babies out. People are ready to get their wallets out. They sold how many of the LEs did they sell? Like 1,000 of them.
Yeah, dude,
that's crazy.
Fuck, man. For 10K at this stage in the game, I wish I got one of those. I just wish I got it.
You're getting the standard? You're never for a topper anyways. Well, that's the other thing I noticed, too,
maybe I do. Probably not.
No, it looks like an old game, but it's like the height of a modern game.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was surprised. I was expecting it to be like TNA height, but it's not. It's like a Stern height.
That makes me feel better, Kevin.
Yeah. You would have just thrown the topper in the trash, so.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk Bond's 60th. We played that a couple times. I like this game. It was surprisingly fun. Although I shouldn't be surprised because it's a Keith Elwing game and he has a great track record for fun pinball designs. The problem is it's not $20,000 worth of fun. You know what I mean? I actually quite enjoyed it. I wanted to play it more after I got done playing it, but man, I could not pull the trigger on a $20,000 version of this.
No, it's funny, Kev, because they had Pulp Fiction, play that first, and then I went to play the Bond 60th, but like the day before you got there. And it's like, if all else were equal, let's say they were both $8,000, Pulp Fiction all day. Pulp Fiction was, to me, the better game. Like, I had this better art, better moments. It's got actual better toys in it, better sound effects. Like, the layout's cool in Bond. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Keith did a good job, and it's cool and all. But I mean, the thing's ugly as sin.
Yeah.
It's just got the sounds that it's sharing between the other Bond. It looks like when it was sitting next to even just the Bond Pro, it looks like the lesser version.
Yeah, it looks like a home game.
Yeah, I said to you, and I said to Matt and everybody, like, in a normal world, this would have been called like a Stern Classic, and it would have been, you got the Pro at 6,900. You would have had, this game would have been 5,900, right? But, and to Stern's credit, they're like, fuck that. Here's what we're gonna do. All right, watch this. This is gonna be hilarious. We're gonna say this is gonna be limited. We're gonna charge $20K, and then everybody, like Richie Riches, are gonna go out and they're gonna buy it, and they that's what happened, man. I mean, like this is a lesser game to the Pro, and certainly the Premium. The Premium doesn't have a lot of good selling points over the Pro, anyways. But like, I do like how Bond Pro shoots. Like, I'd rather play that game than this, even though this is fun and all. But it is, to me, it's a lesser version.
Yeah, it's crazy time. The thing, like you said, it's ugly. The sound is not good. The game itself, I thought was fun. I liked it when you started multi-ball, like locking the balls back in the lock shots and then getting the jackpots and stuff like that. I thought that was fun. The little loopy shot on the far left was really cool. But yeah, man. I saw one on Pinside was selling for like $15,000 already. So.
Dude, the art is hideous. It just looks hideous, man.
Nerdtastic in chat said you don't like the aughts era clip art. Yeah, it looks like a early 2000s era Stern, like CSI all those.
Poker World Tour, Sopranos. I mean, it's that level of ugliness with the yellow outline around it. Like, it's fucking terrible.
Yeah. My baby's first art project. You know what I mean?
God damn. I mean, sometimes you just get, like, sometimes the trick is you make this game beautiful, right? And then you charge that price, and then you're like, oh, it's beautiful, it's stunning, like, it's fun classic layout, and you're like, all right. But nah, like, there's nothing that look aesthetically pleasing about having that in a lineup.
That's the spooky pinball sales business plan. You make it beautiful, people buy it, and then it's like, it sort of works, I guess. Like, okay.
Yeah. God bless. I mean, Stern, dude, keep subsidizing. Keep
thank you. Thank you
so
for keeping the prices down for the rest of us.
Bought this game. God bless you.
Thank you. All right, so that was fun. Foo Fighters. Do you want to talk?
Well, a couple people asked, do you guys think Stern will pull this again with another theme, charging $20K? I mean, why not? I think, yeah, I mean,
they haven't done it with Beatles, though. Everybody was speculating that they were going to do Sea Witch, and they never did, so.
No, he says, do you think they're going to do another theme at 20? Like, do you think they're going to do this again?
Oh, yeah. If they can get a high dollar license like that.
Yeah.
If they get back to the future, they're doing
300 or they sell 500 and they go lower, like, whatever. Like, they're, Dude, what the build of material has to be less than the Stern Pro or around it. Yeah.
They're selling a home game for
All day.
$20,000, basically.
I would if I was them. I'd fucking be laughing to the bank and high-fiving everybody. Be like, are you kidding me? You guys were going to charge $5,900 and call it Stern Classic because it doesn't have ramps and stuff? Look at this. This is genius. I'd charge $20,000 and people are going to buy it. Yeah, I'd do that all day, Kevin.
Yep. Like Chrome Candy says, the Beatles did get a classic mode with Sea Witch rules, but they didn't re-release the game at a lower price as Sea Witch. That's what everyone was like. Well, if they release this as Sea Witch for $5,000, I would buy it. And they never did. They're never going to do it.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Anything else on Bond?
I don't know. I like how Bond shoots. I'm glad to see the code starting to get there.
You're talking about the regular Bond, right?
Yeah. But yeah, let's move on from Bond 60th. I think
apparently the new rules are very Lonnie Robb-esque, where they added new stuff, but to get there you have to shoot the same thing 1,000 times.
Yeah.
So, who could have possibly seen that coming? Really weird. All right, let's talk about Foo Fighters. How much of this did you play?
I played it. I played it because they had it in the tournament. I think I had to play it a couple times. I played they had some on display or whatever. I played it a few times. Played the premium. Played the pro.
You just got one at Masuda, right?
Yeah. So I didn't like. I was like kind of like lukewarm towards it when I was at PinBrew, and then I played it a couple times at Masuda and enjoyed it more there. I think maybe I just had it set up better. It certainly, like, the shots definitely feel really good. I like some of the inventive things that are in it. Like, it has kind of like that, like almost like a kicker. What is it? Like the thing that Gottlieb almost used.
I like that. That was surprising when that went off.
Yeah, that was nice. I like I really do appreciate bringing back things that were kind of cool, 30 years ago or 40 years ago, or whatever, and putting them in games. And it's just a nice surprise, and it worked well in the game. And it's the way the ramps move and the movement of the ball everything felt really good and cool. The art didn't seem as busy in person. It was easier on the eyes on person as compared to how it looks in pictures. So that was certainly nice. I still think it's busier than it needs to be. It's like at 11. It probably can be down to 8, but it wasn't that bad in person. Shot great. The rules, I don't really know what's going on. So hard for me to judge it. I haven't played this enough yet. Definitely disappointed that they didn't include that death save mechanic of like, it's kind of like an up post, right?
The up post, that it
left
bounces
outlane.
off
Like,
of, yeah.
I was really shocked that they pulled that from the pro. It's like, fuck, dude. I mean, how much does that cost in money? They even have, like, on the pro play fields, they even have a piece of metal over it, so it was already cut for that. That seemed really chintzy, Stern. You don't have a toy on this to speak of. You could have put that, because the premium got the sculpted Overlord and it's got the upper play field. Like, the premium definitely stands on its own with additional stuff. You didn't have to jip everybody on that. But I mean, I can see why people like this game. I'm not like, oh, I need to own it or anything. I guess, the next step is, how are the rules? Are the rules like super engaging and want me to come back? It just seemed like you pick a mode, you play the mode, and things happen. I noticed that my score when I was playing at Masuda's Cab, it would be like 30 or 40, and then like in a blink of an eye, it would jump to like 200, and I have no idea why. But yeah,
it was like Galactic Tank Force.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, CERN's going to do well with this. I like music pins. We've got a bunch of friends getting it. My thing is, like, if I had to rank the games, I think Godfather, my ranking right now of new games, and obviously things change over time, but it's like Godfather, Pulp Fiction, Foo Fighters, probably GTF, Queen, and we haven't played Spooky yet, so Scooby-Doo automatically goes to the bottom only because we haven't played it. So don't, take that with a grain of salt.
All right, I'll rank mine too. Everybody likes me rank things.
Godfather, Pulp Fiction, and Foo.
Well, you only played Final Resistance once, so you can't really put that in there yet.
Yeah, I can't put that in there.
For me, it would be Godfather, Final Resistance, Pulp Fiction, probably Bond 60 if we're counting that one. Pretty much in the order I put them in the rundown. Foo Fighters.
Bond 60 over Foo Fighters?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
I only played Foo Fighters
opinions.
So,
get the fuck out of here.
Wrong opinion. I had fun playing it. Queen and then GTF probably. Well, no, I put GTF above Queen, but GTF was so broken. All right, let's not jump the gun here. We have a lot to talk about it with Galactic Tank Force. So I have one good story about Foo Fighters. I played it twice, once in the tournament and then once casually. So literally the first game I step up to play it in the tournament, I plunged the ball. I was player 2, ball 1, plunged the ball. It did like a weird like jump thing. It felt kind of like Godzilla when plunged quite right and it kind of rattles around. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Whatever. It must just be like Godzilla. the player 3 steps up, pulls the plunger back, and the ball falls in the cabinet because the auto plunger fell out. I was like, oh man. So we had to retrieve the ball from the bottom of the cabinet, Scooby-Doo style. Or what game were we playing? Oh, that was that? Oh, Rick and Morty we were playing when it fell through the cabinet. Thankfully they got the auto plunger remounted and we were able to get the game going, but that was just funny. And then we played again.
I heard the spinner has been falling out of them, so just keep an eye on that. So I guess our spinner fell out of the one that's going on location, and then the plastic ramp covers are breaking. So thankfully Ulick store was at PinBrew, so I picked up the replacement ramp covers, which have like more flex to them, so they can take some punishment. We got those. So just word to the wise, you might want to look into getting those.
Yep, if you're getting one, there you go. All right, do we have to talk about Queen? I guess we can. We finally played it for whatever's there.
Talk about a box of lights.
Yeah, dude, this game's ugly as hell too. You talk about ugly game. This game beats Bond in my opinion. It's just so dude. The side art with do they have the side art here?
It's a different kind of ugly. It's a different kind of ugly. It's a real like Sophie's choice in terms of what's the ugliest.
Yeah, I mean the cabinet art on Bond 60 is really lazy, but this is they don't have the like full cabinet look where it's the side of the Pro or whatever the standard edition they call it, it's just got like a silhouette of the art that they have this shitty gradient on. It looks really, really bad. And then it's like the top of Wembley Stadium just in like line art form. It's so bad, dude. It's so bad. There's so much bad. So let's start. Okay, you plunge the ball. It kind of goes into a drop target post thing. So that's a great way to start the game. And then
because you're supposed to be hitting the piano targets, but you don't know that. So of course you just
is that the idea? You're supposed to do like a super skill?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's not apparent at all.
Yeah.
All right, God, I don't like having anything.
This game's almost $12,000 too. This is insane.
The center ramp shot was super easy and repeatable, but it would like sometimes the ball lock wouldn't work on the left ramp, the Wembley lock. It would just like skip over it the way it's designed. It's not seem good because it's still, if you shoot it too fast, it just goes around it instead of falling into the little hole here. And then the ball fell off the ramp at one point. I was just doing all sorts of weird mechanical things that made it feel like a prototype that wasn't quite ready for production.
Oh, totally. Yeah. It's like you could tell this game is just kind of unfinished, and they're just like, well, get it out there. Somebody's going to buy it. Right. It's like playing the Queen DVD in the background, and there's text overlaid on it, and the upper playfield is not fun and way too big. There's a shot next to the right orbit that the ball would go up there and inexplicably always just come back down, and we couldn't really figure out why because it's covered up. It was really weird.
It was under the guitar, yeah.
Yeah, it was really weird. Like things are lit, and there was like no feedback to the player in terms when you hit a lit shot of if you did anything special or anything happened. It's just it's like a shell of a game. Maybe there's something here, but it's clearly a shell. And they had two games there. CoinTaker brought them. One, I think it was the right flipper was weak as all hell, and just you delay in it. It was working well, but the audio actually sounded really pretty good, like an audio system. It was really kind of thumping. The other game, the audio was like broken on it, but the flippers shot well. It's just, I don't know, man. This is. I cannot believe that this game is $12,000, and then you look at like Godfather. It's just at that point it's a fucking joke.
Yeah.
And this game is for people who don't. They're just like want a Queen pinball machine, and they don't care about anything. They want a game. You hit start. There's flippers. The ball goes around and it plays Queen music. And like if you're like, and that's fine. Listen, if that's all you care about, and you don't care about, me and Kevin are super fucking nerds in pinball. Like, I get it. Like this is been doing this for more than 10 years, both of us. All right, like super nerds. So if you just want a Queen pinball machine, this is who that's for. And and anybody else who knows what's going on and knows what makes like what to look for in pinball machine or comparing it to like other games, this game's a joke, absolute joke.
I think that's it. We'll leave that as the final word. All right, let's move on to I think the one everybody's been waiting for us to talk about. Let's talk about Galactic Tank Force.
There's a real debate about the art in the chat.
Oh, in the chat? What are we talking about?
You got some people saying you're crazy for saying the art on Bond 60th is better, and then there's people saying the opposite. So
it's almost like
interesting.
It's subjective.
It is. That's right. Love it.
Yep. All right. Weird.
They sold both at the show. It's nuts. Yeah, dude. This is it though. This is what we want. Like, I want my gravestone to say this. It's fucking theme. Like if you're making a pinball machine, just do a theme. People will buy it. You're just gonna sell that alone. Like you say, I'm making Tom Petty pinball. Automatically, people are just gonna buy it. That's it. They're not even gonna. They don't even have to look at it. They're like, I'm getting it. That's it. I love Tom Petty. I'm gonna get Tom Petty. You say, I'm making Galactic Tank Force. It's fucking crickets. Okay, They're gonna say, I'll have to see how the game plays. I'll see. Like, why would you? Why would you start behind the 8-ball? Why would you? If you're a business and your goal is to make money, why would you fucking do that to yourself?
Yeah, if those were two $12,000 Punny Factory sitting there at the show, they would not have gotten sold. They would have just gone home with the manufacturer.
Hall and Oates, please. Yeah. Please. So Jersey Jack, give us Hall Notes. Best-selling pop duo of all time.
You need the picture of them with the Fiero for the back glass, right?
How many number ones do they need?
So the Bee Gees. so many options. Bee Gees fans would buy it. All right,
I
you
can't
ready
go
for
for that
GTF? You
multi-ball.
want to get into this?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so
We got to begin from the beginning. We got to talk about where we left off. So,
Okay, so-
in the last episode of Brody Even Talk Pinball, we had just seen the tank revealed. Okay,
we revealed the first playfield pictures. Oh yeah, and they had shown the tank version.
they just showed the tank, and we showed a blurry playfield picture.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that was they did before they didn't release the trailer yet. They kept on hyping that the trailer would come out. And prior to that, they did how many teaser trailers? 2?
4? I think there's
Not counting the trailer.
4 trailers altogether. So they had done 3.
Okay,
up to
so
that
3 teasers. 3 teasers.
Yeah, too many teasers.
Okay, so I want everybody to note this. Here's the standard operating procedure for like Stern, Jersey Jack, Pulp Fiction to this. Maybe one teaser, okay? Then the real trailer, and then a stream. That's it. Or you just do a trailer and then a stream.
That's kind of the standard operating procedure, yeah.
So GTF says, no, we got this figured out. We're going to do 3 teasers. All right, and the first teaser's going to mention, like, hype up. We're not going to show the game. That's child's play. We're going to hype up that there's actors in this that we paid money for, okay? We're going to flash a bunch of names that most people don't know. I mean, realistically, they're not well-known actors by any stretch of the imagination. All right, so they do that. Then the next teaser is the tank guy. His eyes are moving back and forth. Okay. Again, we're not seeing the game. Then the third teaser is what? I don't even know what the third teaser is. It's forgettable. Then we finally get to the...
Oh, the third teaser was the one with all the full motion video.
No, that's the trailer. That's the real trailer.
That's this one. Okay. I can't keep track of them.
I can't keep track. So, all right. These guys are... American Pinball is like shouting, "Look at me." They're like, "Everybody stop what you're doing. Look at me." And we're like, all right, if you fucking insist, let's look what's going on.
American Pinball presents. Oh, pictures of the cabinet. It looks like a tank.
Alarm. Lock and load. Ready to engage.
We're seeing the ball pop around the pop over.
You think you can defeat me? Here, hold my scepter.
There's a tank.
Where did that thing come from?
Galactic Tank Force. Get ready for the dubstep. Classic cabinet options. Signature and limited versions. Artwork by Chris Franchi. Wow, wow, wow. Wireform Rams. Featuring Wireform Rams. Button control dipper. Multiple ball magnets. Custom pop bumper. LED lighting. Automatic shield ball save. That never works.
Sorry. I am loser intolerant.
Hey, don't
This
space
guy.
out on me.
That guy. Jeff Hoover. Everybody's favorite Jeff Hoover.
Jeff Hoover.
And Clementine.
it's Clementine Moorfoot.
Farm. Shoot it down.
There's cows. If you like cows, this is your game.
Yeah, remember cows are funny.
Nordman 3000 as the robot.
Lock it now. Boss, cookie's locked.
3D printed thing.
Lock it up.
Lock it up.
Boss, Houdini's locked
Hope you guys
in.
like this part because you're going to hear it a lot.
Panther, lock in now.
There's a lot of locking in happening.
Boss, Panther's
Boss, locked in.
You are no match for my spy bots. Party time!
Let's party!
Ew, the ball walk that never works. Oh, we're getting to my favorite part of this video. All right, how much time is left?
Aw, you
yeah.
lost your ball, loser.
When the ball like jumps over the flippers at the end, don't they do like a slow motion version of it too? Yeah, here we go. It's coming up. Right now,
Talk to your doctor about sprinkles. Side effects may include unexpected giggles.
oh my god, it's so bad.
Yeah. So let's pick up the story. So this is like a month old at this point. So
Yeah.
this finally drops after the teaser, and like I would highly encourage, if you've not been to the GTF hype thread on Pinside. I would highly encourage you to go there. And if you can find the precise moment that trailer dropped, just enjoy it from there on. Like, that thread will just be there for posterity. It's one of the greatest threads of all time. And I definitely was participating in that because they kept on screaming, attention, attention, look at me. And I was like, oh, shit, all right, I'm going to look at it. And then I thought I would hop in the hype thread and give my thoughts. And some people didn't like it. I mean, like, you know, some people private messaged me and were calling me an asshole and stuff. But that's if that doesn't make you want to go check out that thread, I don't know what will. So you can kind of see the real-time thoughts of that. And also then they went to TPF, and in TPF, let me just let you guys know. So the trailer comes out, they show that, people are just like, what the fuck? This is cringe. This is stupid, blah, blah, blah. They just missed the mark. Then they go to TPF, and they still aren't showing the game. They're driving the game around as a tank, so they're confusing people because it doesn't really drive around. They just hooked it up for, they're like, again, some would be like, oh, it's fun, it's fun. It's like, well, no, it's a marketing gimmick. They're saying, look at me. But what they're not doing is showing the game. Like, they didn't have any game stream reveal until like a couple weeks after TPF.
Yeah,
and
the first one was like in some random bar.
Yeah, some streamers were nice enough to go down and try to show people the game. And it was at a brewery. Like, it wasn't not a planned or constructed stream at all. And good for them for finally doing that. But that's all people wanted. And I was to the point is like, what are they trying to hide? Like, why are they doing all this other stuff, all this bullshit, not showing the game? That's what people want to see. Oh, Jesus, Kevin. I mean, I could probably go on and on. Again, some of my best work is in that thread if you want to see the thoughts and feelings on it. But this has not been going well for them in the slightest. By the time they did have an organized stream, Jack Danger streamed it, and I tuned in to watch it, and the game would always be broken. They would go into multi-ball. The multi-ball wouldn't work properly. It was an industry first single ball multi-ball. They always had the glass off. It just seemed super disjointed. The tank is so far up front in the middle that everybody they're good players, they're all avoiding it and shooting all the other shots, right? So, yeah, I think it's the One iPod, One Pinball podcast streamers. Their stream was actually better, and when I finally saw the game, I was like, oh, okay, like, it's not a game I'm gonna buy, but looks like, it might be fun for a few flips, right? Like, after all that, it was like, okay. But then the official stream was a disaster. They've got that annoying dubstep music. And I even heard, like, Carrie Hardy's like, yeah, I'm a fan of dubstep, but this is terrible dubstep. Personally, I can't tell the difference, but I trust that somebody who can, right? Like, even somebody who even likes dubstep is just like, this is trash.
Yeah. It's like they went on Fiverr and bought some dubstep music.
And it's like, Nick, you're a JJP show, and like, dude, I want more pinball machines to choose from. This is not the right approach. And it's like, here's our reasons. Here's me and Kevin talking as friends. We're laughing as friends. Like, are you kidding me? This is the approach to this game. How are they going to sell? How are they going to compete with Pulp Fiction or Foo Fighters or Godfather? Like, what are they thinking? This is like, to me, this is an exercise that nobody is there as a leader saying, no, we're not going to do that. There's like zero direction. Nobody said no to anything. There's no cohesion. It's just throw everything at the wall, see what sticks. Hey, should we hire comedy writers? No, we're funny. We can do it ourselves, right? Like, no. When Williams put out Medieval Madness, they hired, I think it was Second City in Chicago. That's what it called. Tina Fey was actually a voice in Medieval Madness because she was in Second City at the time, right? Like, they hired comedy writers. When they did Deadpool a couple years ago, Stern hired comedy writers. And the game's, like, nominally funny, but that's, like, at least they tried to get comedy writers. Imagine if Stern tried to make jokes themselves. Guys, like, get help. Like, you're not, like, you don't know what you're doing.
It's a skill, just like everything in life. You gotta be there's skill in comedy, there's skill in art, there's skill in music. Get the people who know how to do this stuff and have them do it.
Yeah. Call me an asshole. Okay, I'm one guy, Kevin's one guy, but like, people vote with their wallets. No one's gonna buy this game.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna be very little sales. And it's not because Nick and Kevin don't like it. It's not because it's because you guys are just dropping the ball on this. And that's too bad because you're spending you've got talent there. right? You're able to produce and manufacture pinball machines, which is saying so much more than anybody else who tries to do this. Like you're there, you're making it. Do an original, just drop the original themes, get some guidance, get some other talent in there to provide some direction, some project management, something. I don't know, Kev. It's like I don't want to see this game be bad, right? Like I want games. I wish every pinball machine was good, but there's just so many questionable, misguided steps along with it. We haven't even gotten to the fact that there's, they make a joke about fudge packing. And
Yep.
as Rob Metzer says, like, I'm not offended by the joke. I'm offended as a fan of comedy. Like, it's just not funny, right? Like, it's just
not
like
funny.
low bar humor that's like boomer humor that I don't know.
Well,
And
now
then-
they took it out of the game, so they can pretend like it
Yeah,
never
they took it out of the
existed.
game. So
But,
they're like, I don't know what you're. People are like, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, we've got receipts. There's screenshots.
yeah, you
then-
guys put out a promo video with it in there. So sorry.
Somebody who is no longer with the company who's trying to explain what's going on in the game, which is very nice of that person. They're doing better work than American Pinball is, ironically enough. But they're like, it's not fudge packing, it's pumping and drilling. Oh, you're pumping and
so
drilling
much
for
better.
fudge. Yeah,
You fixed
totally
it.
different, Kev. You silly
fixed it.
goose.
Yeah,
they
How
fixed
dare
it.
you? How dare you?
The thing is, like, you're trying to assemble ice cream ingredients, like, and there's tanks, and it's like, what the fuck? Seriously. How are you going to compete with Foo Fighters? Pulp, like, I get, like, oh, Nick's an asshole, Nick's smug. He's like, he doesn't get this humor. It's wacky, it's silly. Fine. Where's your audience for it? Let's see.
Get your
We're going
money
to
out
check
and
the
buy
sales.
it. Get your
We're
money
going to
out
check
and buy
that
it.
6 months from now. We're going to go to Pinside. We're going to look at the owners and the wish listers. We're going to compare all the other games that came out this time. And then who are the people going to agree with? Are they going to agree with you, who's saying that that we're wrong, or are they going to agree with Nick and Kevin? And I'm going to say it's going to be the Hall Notes of Pinball, Nick and Kevin.
So yeah, we left this last month. I was like, oh, maybe if this is like a new Attack from Mars or something like that, maybe it's something I'd be interested for my game room. Because like you talked about earlier, it gets, if you have all the same manufacturers in your lineup, it gets boring. It's fun to mix it up. It's fun to get different rules designers, playfield layouts, things like that. Original themes are cool. I have a number of original themes in my game room. But it's like, can we get to the part where we actually played this game? Are we ready to go there yet?
Yeah, one more thing about original themes. I have
Okay.
original themes too. But fuck, dude, I have a Bad Girls.
Yeah.
Okay? I can get down with some crazy things, right? Like,
Right.
So, but like you put yourself again behind the eight ball, not only in just not having a built-in audience, but now you've got to create a universe. You got to create the scenes. You can't just pull from things and add on to them. You don't have a licensor approval, which can be good or bad, but also licensor approval can keep you on track from doing something monumentally stupid. So, yeah,
It also gives you all these assets that you can use that you don't have to create.
Yeah, so they had two of these at PinBrew Fest, and Kevin and I were pumped. And Kevin made me promise to wait a full day to play until he got there. And as a good friend, I waited. So we finally played it. But I was sending Kevin pictures on Thursday. Every time I looked over there, they had, on both of them, they had the glass off and the playfield up in the air. There's just issues after issues. Now, I would go over and watch people play, but like so many problems. I actually documented it, Kevin, but why don't you take over for a second? I wrote down these issues to report on Pinside.
Okay.
You can start talking while I look for that.
Yeah, so we that was always one of the selling points, right? It was like, oh, American Pinball, they make great games, built like a tank, amazing build quality, blah 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 blah. Okay, whatever. So I was like, Nick, you gotta wait for me to go get there. I went down like midday Friday, so we're like, all right, it's Galactic Tank Force time, let's go. So we walk over there and we step up to play it, and we actually the first one we got through a full game of our first game, right? I feel like we did, and things worked okay. And it was like, oh, this game's all right. And then we walked away, and then came back. Every time we walked back past it, it was broken down. And then walked past it again. One of the two is broken down. And then I think my first impression of seeing it in person. All right, let's talk about some positives. Beautiful game. Everybody kind of like that's the universal like praise you can give to this game. Looks great. Chris Franchi did a great job on the art package.
He really did.
Despite saying that we all have ugly wives, he did a great job on the art package.
And Kevin, and if you don't know what that is, Chris Franchi took it upon himself. I'm sorry. Look, like you got to talk about this for a second. This is just again, everything is just crazy with this game. This Pinside thread is amazing. It's been deleted, but people were talking about how they were disappointed that the parts in the game were 3D printed for $9,000. So the artist comes in there and says, like, you know, you guys have no right to complain about 3D printed parts. You guys all settled for ugly wives, so shut the fuck up, pretty much. That's essentially the gist of that. Believe it's screenshotted in there. You can probably find it.
Yeah.
It
was on the internet.
What is going? Why do you have the artists in there? People like it, dude. Franchi, you crushed the art. The art looks great.
Everybody loves it.
Like you, that's the one thing that everybody agrees. Like, why? You won. I like your art on Godfather. Why did you do that? Why did I? Jesus, dude. What a weird hill to die on. Telling somebody that they have no right to complain about 3D printed stuff on a $9,000 game. That's a whatever.
Yeah. So to his credit, game looks great. One detail that I really like, so the back box is a little different. It looks more like a standard pinball back box. If you've seen other American pinball games, they have that weird, like, curvy back box that really just kind of stands out, but not in a good way. Now it's more traditional, but what I like is, like, the speaker panel is set back and they have some green LEDs above the speaker panel that shines down. It creates this really cool effect on the back box. So visually, really cool. The other thing I really like is the mirror in the back. That looks really cool. You know, the planet kind of looks like it continues in the back, and it gives it this cool, like, effect in the back of the game. So presentation wise, looks great.
Yeah, I want to say also, I take issue with 3D printed parts in a $9,000 game, but in person they don't look bad.
Yeah,
right? Like,
I agree.
In person, the game looks good.
Mm-hmm.
The little robot that comes out looks like shit as a 3D printed part, and disappointed. Like, should have painted him or something, but other than that.
Usually when it comes out, you're too busy playing to really notice it anyways. You know, it's like, oh, the alien or the robot guy popped out. Okay, cool. Like, we were waiting for him to come out, and then he came out, and it's like, okay. And if it happened while I was playing, I barely noticed it. But yeah, the 3D printed parts they're okay. I mean, would I prefer nice looking sculpts? Absolutely, of course, and you should expect that on a $9,000 game. But
would you rather have booty rate, like Stern booty rate, or 3D printed American pinball stuff?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I want to say 3D
one.
printed thing, but also the booty rate, at least the art on those is usually good.
I know.
I don't know. It's kind of a toss up.
You can think about it.
Yeah. The little spaceship things looked way worse than the tank in the middle. Those things look really janky and goofy. You know, but you know, the mod community will just make you something you can buy for $300 to put on your $9,000 game to make it look better, right? So,
yeah. Do you want me to get to the issues?
Yeah, let's go.
And this is, I think I even missed some of my initial go around. So okay, the balls. This is all on Pinside. Balls would get hung up on an orbit switch, happen on each machine, different orbit. So this was consistent. It's nice that they had 2 games there, so you can't just say, oh, that was one bad game, right? Balls would get stuck, jammed in the right VUC. Magnet would sometimes not catch the ball when it should. Ball got stuck under the upper right spinner gate. UFO wasn't moving on one of the machines. The plunger was wobbling up and down on one of the machines. I asked the tech to turn the sound up because I had trouble hearing it. He did, and then it was like super loud. Like, you know, it went from like 0 to 100.
Yeah, there was something wrong with the volume control where it could only go all the way up or like all the way almost down.
Yeah, I asked him to find a middle ground. He said there was none. He was like getting annoyed at me because I couldn't understand that. And then I saw him do it. So instead of going like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you like click it, it goes like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like, that was it. So that was messed up. You know, speaking of sound, the something, I don't know what's up with the speaker system, but it seemed like some sounds were high pitched. Some of the call outs you can hear fine. The other ones just got buried in the mix. And like voices were drowned out. Some characters would pop up and you would see them talking, but no sound would come out. I guess that's a code issue.
There's also, like, at the end of the ball, it would just be totally silent. It's really weird.
Yeah, the Cowabunga mode had like stupid high scoring.
Oh my god, dude!
You would like
so
grind
bad.
to get to like 100 million, but then when you start it, it would say like the super jackpot was like 138 million, and I saw a score jump by like basically 1 billion points. It was dumb. Like it was just broken,
so
right?
Yeah.
Frequent air balls from the tank. The glass rattled horribly. Auto launcher was intermittent on one of the games, so I had to manually punch the ball during multi-balls. The flippers started getting weaker over time. The balls weren't releasing from the locks and had to be fixed. Other than that, things were good.
I can add one. Because of the weird plunger on the one, I plunged the ball. The ball like didn't go anywhere. It jumped to the left into the outlane, drained, and my ball was over.
Yeah, dude, this is not an opinion. These are straight up facts that anybody else who played it can concur and noted these things. I did not see Pulp Fiction glass. They have 2 games there. I didn't see the glass off once. I didn't see the playfield up in the air once. I saw longer lines consistently for those games. I didn't see Bond 60th any issues. Right? I didn't see any issues with the other. I mentioned
P3,
the
I didn't see the glass off on that. Yeah.
This is a terrible, terrible look. And those games where somebody bought them and they're taking them to a brewery. So it was purchased and it was going on location after that.
Yep. And there were times when the games were working and people just weren't playing them. So for a brand new game, I think that says a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you almost did it. So let's talk about like gameplay. So when we were able to play, so at the end of the night, what was that? Saturday night, we got together and we just played a bunch of this. And it was working okay to the point where we could play a couple 4-player games. And I guess the strategy is you don't want to shoot the tank. The tank's going to kill you. The up post in the middle of between the flippers is going to kill you. It's not going to work. So what you do is you start a multi-ball, and then when you're in a multi-ball, that's when you battle the tanks, right?
Sure.
It's kind of like Attack from Mars in that sense, where like it's the sucker shot right up the middle. Yeah, I can shoot this thing and make something cool happen, but I'm probably going to die. So I'm going to have to play it when it's more safe. Or like Ironmonger, you got to shoot them on the sides. You know, with the dangerous straight up the middle shots, you have to kind of pick and choose how you're going to play them, right? So that's how I ended up playing the game.
It was pretty boring. I mean, it was just like there's 2 shots on the left, there's like 2 shots on the right, not counting the UFO. You shoot them, they're safe. It's slow. Ball comes back, you do it again, and if you're a good player, you can consistently find and grind. Like I got a grand champ on it, right? Like it was easy for me, and I would get into multi-ball, then I'd whale on the tank, then I'd do it again, and it's just like, all right, at least. And if you want to compare it to Attack from Mars, those targets are back further, so you can go for them, and you have more recovery time. So do you go for them? Usually not, but the other shots that you're shooting along the way are more satisfying and fun. They just feel better on Attack from Mars.
Oh yeah, totally.
Right. The thing is, like, Kev, there's so many games that are longer player these days that they're making. I do like a game that might be more brutal, maybe a little more luck oriented, right? Like, so like on the surface that appeals to me, and I think this game can be fun for a few flips. I mean, no way do I want to buy the game. I think that there is fun to be had, right? Like, it's hard to say because the game never worked right when we played it. The rules didn't seem anything amazing. Certainly wouldn't want to buy it, but it's probably fun for some flips. I don't think this game is going to be successful, though. By the way, I would gauge success in terms of like units sold, but I hope they get their act together. Thought the lighting was excellent. Art's great. I don't know, man. What else can I say about this thing?
The overall presentation was really good. I actually like the full motion video stuff as it's integrated into the game. It reminded me of like 90s full motion video games in a cheesy kind of campy way. The whole presentation, aside from the dubstep music, I really liked. It's just everything else fell apart.
Literally.
Yep. All right. Oh, I wanted to show this too. They so this was April 1st. So this would have been after TPF. Working on a permanent solution for quote unquote minor issue. And this is when they announced their official stream. So it's such a minor issue they had to issue a full statement about it. This morning, American Pinball's David Fix sent out an email addressing a quote-unquote minor issue that some people experienced while playing the company's new game, Galactic Tank Force, at the most recent Texas Pinball Festival. The center tank stand-up targets on the games at the show were getting bent up slightly during the repeated gameplay, causing some players to get airballs that traveled straight down the middle when hitting them. American Pinball has implemented a temporary solution to strengthen the targets on the games that it is bringing to this weekend's Midwest Gaming Classic, and a more permanent solution will be implemented on production Galactic Tank Force games, quote unquote, shortly. So there you go. Although that didn't seem to be in place for the ones we played at PinBrew. The stand-up targets were all bent and crappy and sending air balls all over the place. So there you go. I think that's all we have to say about Galactic Tank Force at this point.
Yeah, that's all that needs to be said. So
right.
We'll compare. We'll look 6 months from now. We'll look at numbers. We go the numbers.
Yeah, let's run the numbers. And sadly, we cannot give a Scooby-Doo report because they didn't have any at PinBrew. So it was the one new game that didn't have one there.
Yeah, so scribble any good brews at PinBrew. Yeah, for sure. I can't remember the names for the life of me. There was like one that was like 9% proof, which was delicious. And there was some good sours. There was like a sweet tart sour that I had the first day. That was great. So a Dunkel I think I had on Saturday night. I was pounding those. Yeah, it was good. It was a great time. Speaking of, we're going to talk about that, right? Oh, Spooky was
it's PinBrew recap time, so that's a good transition.
Well, James got a Spooky, so we got to stream it, right? Is that?
Yeah, we got to go play Scooby if he lets us. He didn't want us to stream Halloween because it was so bad, so we'll see. He's enjoying the Scooby so far, so we'll see.
I don't believe it.
All right, you want to talk PinBrew? I got some pictures and stuff.
Yeah,
so this is our first year going there, right?
Yes, it was, because our schedules finally aligned, and we took a nice crew out from Buffalo. It was I don't know, man. I had a blast. It's the first pinball show I've been to since the pandemic. Really, really good show. Like the good use of the space. It felt open. Good number of games there. I played a lot in the tournament, which I liked the format that they had. It was kind of like this match play style tournament where you can do qualifying sessions, and I did most of them. They had all the new games there except for Scooby-Doo for some reason. Oh, there's me.
Hey, it's you.
That's me playing Pulp Fiction. Big surprise. The game's
Proof.
Amazing.
We were there. We played it. If you thought we were lying to you, there you go.
Beers were great. Like food trucks were solid. They had a good variety. I don't know, man. It was really good. So shout out to Keith and his team for just putting on a show for us adult children to just go and get away and have fun with friends, which is so important. And I had folks who listen to our podcast or watch our stream come up to me, and I'm sure they did to you as well, Kevin. And
yeah,
it was
like the
nice
most ever. I feel like
it's nice to hear some nice things, and we do this. We do our streams in our home and sit here in my home and shout out to the internet, and I see the names appear in chat, but meet people in person and hear that they like something that you spend your time doing and find value in it is it's nice. It means a lot to me. So a quick shout out to Bill, who gave me some drink tickets. He said to stay negative, which is Bill. I mean, like I don't want to, but I know there's more pinball companies trying to make pinball machines, and as long as American Pinball makes more games, it's probably gonna be pretty easy, right? Like it's not that I want to. It's just that the games present themselves. Blake and his son playing Pulp Fiction. Kurt from Williamsville. Luke, who won a Senate Pin Stadiums. Nick from Neo Pinball, who was doing a stream during the finals. So shout out to Nick. Yeah. I guess he was saying that he liked our competitive streams on the internet, and I believe Tate, who did the backlash on the Hollywood Heat that custom.
Oh yeah.
So I probably forgot some people, or I didn't get your name. So anyways, it's appreciated. So thanks for introducing yourself.
You're way too better than me getting names. I'm terrible with names. I just say hi, what's up, thanks for watching. We hang out a little bit, and I forget. Sorry. Thank you to everybody who said hello, and I totally respect all of you, even if I don't remember your names, because it's just not something I'm good at. So shout out there. Can I share one fun story from the tournament?
Yeah.
So I was playing in a group, and we were playing Led Zeppelin, and that the games were. So it had been so long since I played like actual hard tournament games. I was like, oh shit, I got to adjust to this again. These games are set up tough, and they changed. So physically they were set up tough, and also they made rule changes. So on this Led Zeppelin, usually you can like shoot the left scoop, get those going, start getting progress towards your multi-ball on those, and then shoot the left ramp, get that multi-ball going. No, you had to spell out rock on the right side to get multi-ball going. And because the game was set up so hard and it's got a short ball save, that was really hard to do. So this was I think the third time I had gotten put on Led Zeppelin in the tournament. And I finally kind of figured it out, like how to play it, how to, score on it. And on the first 2 balls, I was able to lock 2 balls. So I spelled rock, locked 2 balls. Going into ball 3, I had multi-ball all set up to go. 1 shot to the left ramp would have done it. So I stepped back. It was pretty busy back there. It was in a small space for the tournament. So when I wasn't playing, I would step out and kind of get out of the chaos for a little bit. And one of the other guys in my group steps up and he's like, "Man, I think there's somebody up there playing your ball." So I'm like, "What the hell?" So I walk up. Dude had started my multi-ball, and he was still playing it. And I was just like, "Dude, we're playing a tournament game here." He just kind of looks up and he's like, "What? What are you talking about?" He's like oblivious to the fact that we're in a tournament. Despite the fact, so I'll set the scene for you. There's 2 big like rows of tables on either side. There's a little aisle you have to walk in to get to the tournament games. And there's also signs on the table that says it's a tournament. He walked right past those into where everybody was playing the tournament games. Just steps right up, ball 3, plunges my ball, gets the multi-ball going. And I was able to trap up 2 of the balls, so I had to call over and get a ruling. And they ruled it like I knew what my score was. They saw what the score was at, and they just said subtract that from your score, and you can play on from the multi-ball. I was able to get the add a ball, so I got to play multi-ball a little bit. I got over 30 million that game, which was for that Zeppelin was a pretty good score. It didn't end up changing the outcome of the game at all because it was ball 3. I was already in the lead, and player 4 didn't catch me. So even at the score before dude had played my game. So it was. And then like the rest of the show, everybody was like, what the hell happened? What was the outcome of that? So it was a good tournament story. But the huge shout out to the tournament directors. I have nothing but respect for TDs these days. We've done years of tournament directing, and making rulings is never fun or easy, but thank you for all the effort that goes into running those. They're in it for the grind. They're in there taking entries and making rulings and setting up rounds and everything like that. So thanks to all the folks out there who did the tournament.
For sure.
All right. Anything else from PinBrew? Food trucks were good. I like the overall like layout of it. It was in a really cool, like it's pretty nice for a venue where they have. You'd been to the old Ohio show, right?
God,
the one that was in like an old like
yeah,
or something.
I don't know. I don't remember. I might have blocked out my memory.
It was really bad though. Like it was really bad. So this was nice. Like the facilities are all really nice. It was a little bit like it would have been really nice in the 70s, but it was well maintained.
80s, because they had like the Bad Girls like mirrored glass on the doors, which was a nice touch. And I really like the theme integration of the building.
Yeah, I like the overall aesthetic of the building. Like it was retro, but still well maintained. The bathrooms were not gross, so I appreciate that. And it felt like you were playing pinball in a ballroom in the one area. It was really, really well done. Games spaced out nice and in the 3 big rooms. And it was great because there's all these new games that just came out. Everybody just went to TPF and Midwest Gaming Classic and waited in line for hours to play this game. And we were able to step up and play them pretty much whenever we wanted. There's usually one person or a group playing the game, and then you could get in line behind them and be on the next game. It was really cool. And, so for us, it's like a 3-hour drive is kind of a no-brainer for us, and I'm definitely going to go back.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. Shout out to Keith. I think sometimes it's a thankless job, and sometimes when you try to do a good show and a good job, you sort of remember the criticisms more than the praise. So try to keep that in mind. And also, hopefully, Keith's not thinking this already, get more people involved so that maybe you can rotate having them run it some years, like your friends are a team, and then you get to enjoy it some years, and you don't get burned out from it, because I think you've got some traction going, and I hope this event continues for years to come, and I hope you get to enjoy it from the other perspective as well.
Yeah, 100%. Awesome. So PinBrew, highly recommended. Go check it out. We can't talk it up too much though, because then all sorts of people will start coming, and then we'll have to wait in line, and that would suck.
That's true.
Don't come, but come, because it's cool. All right, you want to do some Q&A?
Sure, go for
All right,
it.
I asked some of the folks in Discord for questions for the podcast. Most of them are trolly, but I figured I'd throw them out here. Slappy White, question 1 regarding Punny Factory. He just asks why, and to that I say I have no idea. Nick also has no idea. All right,
I don't know.
Digital Jedi, how many puns have you ordered, and is one for every room of your house enough? I have ordered 0. Nick, how many have you ordered?
0.
0. So yes, that is more than enough for any house. 0 Punny Factories for every house. Find somebody else who owns one and play theirs, but you're probably not going to do that because they're not going to sell many of these. Sergeant Ski wants to know, is Dave Fix going to last at American Pinball? Also, is American Pinball going to make it out of 2023? That sounds like a question for Nick.
I mean, look, I don't like this question, and it's the downside of talking about American Pinball is, like, we've had Dave Fix on the show. I've known Dave Fix since he's like the first person I met in pinball in 2011. He came over and fixed my Iron Man and really helped me out. So it's tough, with Dave Fix over there and Steve over there, and like the people side of it. But at the same time, it's like, look, I feel like hopefully they're listening, and this stuff is hard to hear. And I believe that, not pulling any punches and being truthful and honest and giving feedback that you might not want to hear, but I think that you need to hear. Hopefully that team, Dave and anybody else over there, if anybody is paying attention to us, I don't think Kevin and I are off on the mark on our criticism. And I think that we say these things because we want to see better games out there. And I think there's maybe a big bit of an echo chamber going on, and being a bit in your own world. And I think you need to, think about those criticisms and come out strong for the next title. So I'd be great if Dave gets another crack at it and continue, and that team learns their lessons and comes back better. I'd love to see the next game not be an original theme, do a licensed theme, come out strong, get a strong theme, and crush it. Do a better release. Learn from all these mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes, but if you're not learning from it, then you're just going to be spooky pinball. I got it.
Oh, you almost had it, Nick. You almost had
Is
it.
AP going to make it out of 2023? So here's the other thing. I said on podcast a couple months ago, like, I don't see how they're going to make it, 2 years from now with the trajectory they're on. But what I don't know in that equation is, like, is this a tax write-off for the parent company? Like, it makes no sense on paper how this company is able to make these decisions, not sell many games, and yet still get another crack next year making more games. So they can go on for decades. I have no idea. They shouldn't, right? But like, there's information I don't have, right? And that, I don't know what I don't know. I know things don't make sense. I know they're not selling a lot of games, but I don't know how long this can go on, and I don't know what kind of financial situation that they're in.
Yeah. So 2 things. One was, you think, compare the rollout of this versus Legends of Valhalla. I thought they did a really cool thing with Valhalla, where the day they announced it, they had games all over, locations all over the U.S. There was one at Jack Bar, and I saw some ones out west and things like that. So you're able to go out, play it right away, especially with an original theme. That's critical because, like you said earlier, original theme comes out, it's like, well, I got to play it, see if I like it, blah, 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 get my hands on it. And if you got a great game and you want to show it off, that's a great way to do it. This game, they just kind of like, here's 5 of them that are going to go to Texas. Then we're going to ship them to Midwest Gaming Classic. And then we're going to sell them. They're going to go out on location somewhere. And they haven't really, as far as I know, talked about how they're going to roll these out. When can they expect rollout? At least CGC has said, it's going to be fall by the time we start cranking out the Pulp Fictions. And, JJP crushed it, and they had the games ready to go. They were going out the door to customers like right away. They even beat Stern to the punch. That's kind of like Stern's MO, is that they ship games out right away. You don't have to wait for your games, but JJP even beat him to the punch on this one. So yeah, it's like, so there's that, and then it's also that, like you said, with the parent company, I feel like you see it in pinball where investors get into pinball because they love pinball, they have money, and they're happy to just break even if they can. You know what I mean? Because they have some other funding source that is, you know, they made all their money somewhere else. They're just happy, like they want cool pinball machines out there in the world. Maybe that's what's happening with American Pinball, and Aimtron, I think, is the parent company. As far as I know, they're like a PCB manufacturer. I don't know what the deal is there, but yeah, it's weird situation. So they'll probably keep on going on, but man, they need some licensed themes if they really want to make a go of this.
Yeah.
All right. So Borg Dog says, could the bros comment on today's Jerry nugget in the Weird Al thread of, quote, a few hundred people were minute one orders, please. So I looked this up and I was like, let me see what's going on there. So here's what Jerry posted. He said, so 2084 said, I had a day one order and I haven't heard anything in the 14 months since I paid my deposit. And so Jerry was replying to that. We commonly send out email blasts with the current state of things, and you should have received an initial email with your estimated ship date right after paying the deposit. If you're not receiving the email blast, PM me with your email address and we'll make sure you're on the list. We'll have a new email out soon, which is not a surprise considering they talked about shipping Final Resistance starting in May. He continues, we'll have a new email out soon. You're welcome to message us and ask for a personal status too. Hard to guess by order day. A few hundred people were minute one orders, which I don't think is really a surprise because they sold out of 227 limited edition Weird Al's on the first day. So the fact that he's saying they sold a few hundred P3s or at least a few hundred Weird Al's on day one, I guess that all checks out because they made 227 LEs. They sold out day one. So in addition to the LEs, they also sold some standards, sold some other cabinets, things like that. So yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised at all by that. All right. And then NS Pinball. I left this one in here for Nick because I knew he'd like this one. On the topic of supporting the bros, what is the most impactful? Bits on Twitch, buying merch, drive to your house with a dump truck full of money, or other? What do you think?
So were you saying that we keep 100% of the bits that we're given?
Yes. So they pay up front. So say I buy $20 worth of bits.
Yeah.
It costs me like $22 or something like that. And Twitch takes their cut at the front. We get, like, if you send us 100 bits, we get a full $1 out of that.
All right. So when you do a subscription, that's nice and all, but we only get half of that. So the bits is probably, if you're doing like the bits through Twitch, we get a bigger cut, although you're paying a price for the bits. Honestly, if you PayPal'd us at buffalopinball@gmail.com, you're not going to get a fee and we get 100% if you send it as a friend. So that's probably the most economical, straightforward way. Do what's comfortable for you. Anything is, of course, appreciated. Buying merch is nice because you get some sweet merch, and I don't even know what cut we get from the merch, but it's sort of like, you know, each get something from that. And I keep on threatening Kevin I'm going to go in and take a look at our merch and try to look at the kind of the different like shirt options in terms of brands and stuff available. Kevin was nice enough to get it something started through Steam Labs. So if anybody has any feedback, if you've purchased our merch, please email me or reach out to us somehow through Discord, or ping me on Discord, or send an email to talkpinball@gmail.com. Something I want to know if you're happy with the quality on it, because it comes from Steam Labs. We used to do our own merch where we had somebody local do the screen printing. Kevin and I would go to the post office and mail it out. It was just a pain in the ass. Like, it's not practical. So it's easier to have like a third party do it, but I know that they do one-offs. So I want to, if I sell something, I want to make sure it's good. You know, I can't complain about manufacturers and then put out shit myself, and it pissed me off. If it's bad, I'd rather just not sell merch at all. So please let me know. Give us feedback.
So Borgdog in chat says he likes his Streamlabs BP shirt. It's black. Of course it is, because that's all you're ever going to get from us.
Yep.
Also, Christy at PinBrew had a Buffalo Pinball shirt on, and I was like, "Oh, is that one of the Streamlabs one?" And she said, "Yes." And I liked it. The print quality looked really good. She said she liked it, so
Okay.
I've heard good things about it.
All right, so I want to bring back the Play Angry one, so we'll start doing some of our other designs. We have a special one for like Easter. Maybe we'll save it for next year. I was already in hot water over GTF. I didn't want to wait around that, but we've got a real special like limited edition shirt. Maybe we'll bring to market sometime.
We have that cool pirate skull design that we never made too. That we had the guy that did the Play Angry design. We were gonna get it done for the Summer Open. But then we ended up going with Tonagosa, so that'd be cool to do too.
Yeah, maybe. Like, look, I'd love to get back into, especially if it's working out through Streamlabs, I'd love to get back into having some awesome merch. Like, Kevin and I were having fun with getting designs and, you know, making cool things. We got mugs on there. I think those are solid. I need to get myself a mug. You know, maybe we'll get ones with Jay's face. We'll sell a couple of those, or Jeffrey, get that milk or something, you know? Like, well,
surprise face Jay mug or something.
Bobby Buffalo.
Bobby Buffalo.
Kevin won't do Bobby Buffalo.
The legend of Bobby Buffalo. Nobody would know what it is.
I know. It's the stupid jokes that I find funny.
All right. Game room updates.
NS, thanks for asking the question. NS was definitely generous during the Godfather stream, as well as many other people. So look, I love any and all support. Thank you.
Yeah, the hats are. I've gotten Streamlabs hats, and they are not good, so we're not going to use them for hats.
There you go. See, Kevin and I won't sell shit. If it's something we sell something that's shit, let us know.
The logo looks so jank. So if we can find a good vendor for hats, we'll do it. But Streamlabs is not it. Couple quick game room updates. So I got a Godfather. Nick got a Godfather. One other thing I wanted to show real quick is so at ap3shop.com, I was going to show my picture, but I forgot they put my picture up that that I shared. He said, "Can I put this on our website?" I said, "Sure." So they make these cool little display boxes for P3 modules. So if you want, and they got wheels on them, so they make it easy to kind of wheel in and out from underneath the P3. So if you don't feel like making a cart, like I made another cart, and I didn't feel like making another one, and these guys were kind enough to send me two, and I assembled and put them together. It took like 10 minutes to put them together. The second one was a little faster because I knew how to do it, but it's just like 3 screws per corner, and then you put the wheels on the bottom, and you're good to go. They flat pack them. It's $125 for one, but if you buy two, they are $200, so you get to save 20%. Yeah, and they're available to order now. They also have, let me see if they have a picture of it. Oh, here it is. So you can store them underneath your games, but they also make this cool like rack where you can stick them on this rack, and it has cool lighting and stuff in it too. So it all depends on how your game room is set up. I personally wouldn't want a rack when I have all this unused space underneath my pinball machines. I can stash these games in. You know, if I were to get a rack, I would have to put it in the place of where I have a game. So for me personally, I prefer the using the space underneath my pins to store my P3 modules. But you might have in my garage side of the game room, garage side of the garage, is not temperature controlled, so I wouldn't want to store them over there. But if you have a temperature controlled space with storage, you can probably just throw them on a shelf and go to town. One piece of feedback I offered was, you know, if they could make it shorter so you could squeeze it between the legs of a standard body pinball machine, that would allow me to kind of use the rest of my space easier. So they were taking some of that feedback into account. Yeah, so for my needs, and I know there's other folks with collections like that who would appreciate that. So hopefully they're going to make some more options in the future. But in the meantime, these are really cool, nice and sturdy. The front's magnetic, so you can stick the apron magnet on it too, which is cool. And then there's space because these are a little bit bigger in the back. You're able to store if you like for Weird Al's, you got the crossing wire form that fits in there. You can put your plastics and side plastics and stuff in there too. So that is the AP3 shop. Did you want to give any game room updates, Nick?
What do I got, Kevin? Well, I mean, I got a Godfather, which is again, I'm pretty stoked I have that game. Pretty fucking stoked. What else did I do? Nothing? Is that true? I did nothing else. No other updates. And that's a pretty big update. That's pretty good.
I mean, yeah, the getting it to your house was you want to tell the story of getting it into your house? Like the process to get a game to Nick Lane's basement.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, it's just tough because that game is a little wider than Stearns. It's more, I think it's like probably the size of Williams, and it just doesn't fit in nicely through the multiple doors. So, Kevin was nice enough. He took delivery, he took the head off. Matt Taylor helped us out as well. We loaded it in the car, took it, disconnected. Well, we disconnected all the wires, took it down the basement, reconnected everything. It went pretty smooth. We had help from Dave Sousa. So it went from one engineer to the other engineer. They like passed the baton. It's great. It was easier definitely getting in the basement because it's, you know, those games are heavy, and having taken apart was nice. I don't know. I was just talking to Saul Hudson in chat. He was asking me. Sorry, we kind of got. I guess we'll tackle this really quick because it's a fair question.
Sure.
Back to Punny Factory. I don't know if you saw the chat, Kev, but he was just So I'm not gonna do a great job of representing your thing. He was wish I could find it. Like, what makes Punny Factory? Why so much hate on Punny Factory? What is it that deserves so much hate? Like, I think it's like not hate but skepticism. And what I was trying to answer in the chat is that, look, this guy's been saying I've got a game coming since 2019, right? And this game still hasn't materialized. If we saw a stream, but you can't. No one has it in their collection yet. And you know, in the last 10 years, we've seen so many people saying they're going to bring a game to market, and they're going to have a game, and it never happened. So there's that skepticism. I mentioned that he screwed over Todd Tuckey, which, you know, we've read about on Pinside. Now, that doesn't. I mean, look, I don't care about that. Like, if you have a great game, we'll say your game's great, right? I can say in the same breath your game's great. I'm not gonna look at an amazing game and say I hate it because I don't like the person who made it. Never. I would lose my credibility. I'm not going to sacrifice my credibility because I don't like somebody. But I think that, again, the skepticism comes from we've seen so many games talked about and not come to fruition. This game still doesn't. No one has in their home. All right. So then we got to play it. Any upstart manufacturer is going to inevitably have issues. Right, and especially if you're a smaller manufacturer making your first game, there's going to be issues with the game. So I don't want to buy a game with issues. So I'm skeptical. I'm steering clear of it. The theme does nothing for me. The theme is silly. I don't like fucking puns. I don't like a Punny Factory. Right, like, so it's not for me. I mean, these are my reasons. So do I hate this game? I kind of laugh at it. Right, like I kind of laugh at this guy like talking about making a game since 2019 and everything seems like a misstep, and he goes with like his Don Knotts impersonator. Like, it's just really bizarre decisions that appeal to a very small population. So yes, skeptical. Do I hate it? I don't hate it. I gotta play it, right? Like, maybe one day I'll play it. What are the odds of me playing this anytime soon? Nobody's gonna buy this game when there's a million other games to play. I don't know, man. I think those are pretty good reasons, like, for being super skeptical about it. Like, yeah, it's a bizarre theme. Like, and then, there's just a lot of bizarre choices.
Yeah, I said to you guys in our group chat today, I was like, man, the Punny Factory thread's on fire. Let me go check it out and see what's going on. And you go in there, and it's Andrew from Pinball Adventures just flaming all of the people in the thread. You know, it's like, it's like Chris Franchi level tactics. You know, why would you go in there and start fighting with people because they're not interested in your game or they're critiquing your game? You know, he's saying in this one post, he's like, we have no interest in you owning this machine, but we can't deny you exist. Why do you even bother to keep posting negativity? We get it. You do not like us. Point taken. So just move on, dude. So, like, well, just let it move on. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to go in there and stoke the flames even further.
So I don't think you're understanding me. You asked me why the hate for Punny Factory. I was just saying the hate in general. I'm not saying my personal hate. I'm trying to answer why people quote unquote hate this. I think they're skeptical of it, right? And you say, yeah, you mentioned the dude screwed over Todd 4 years ago. Seems more personal than product. I don't think that's the driving reason. I think that people are not going to drop money on a guy who did something shady. That is like a red flag, right? There's a lot of red flags we've seen with upstart pinball machines. People have learned to be cautious when somebody is creating a new pinball machine and creating an original theme. You're competing for dollars and space against Pulp Fiction, Foo Fighters, Godfather, right? Like Scooby-Doo theme perspective. Not to mention all the games that came out in the past years before that, all the games from the 90s that are great, right? Like, I don't see it, man. I don't know how to explain it to you any more than I did. I gave you those reasons. I don't have anything personal against the guy, but I gave you my reasons for saying, like, yeah, you know what? I'm skeptical of this. I'm going to laugh at the missteps. He also came out with some questionable products or side products that he was allegedly selling. We went through his show, and I don't expect you to watch every bro show, but people ask me these questions, and they think I'm coming out of left field. It's like we've talked about this fucking thing since 2019. We went through where this guy is like, he didn't even make one pinball machine. He's already talking about his 5th pinball machine. That seems a little Looney Tunes to me. All right?
Yeah. And
like, that seems like
the themes he
I'm
came out with.
skeptical.
Yeah. There's like, Oh Canada, and there was one about air travel.
All right.
And there was
all right.
yeah. You
Right,
remember all this.
Saul says he gets me. All right. Saul, for the record, I think you had good questions, and I just want to make myself clear because I think you asked some questions that people probably have, and I want to make sure I'm very clear. Like, we had somebody in, and I know we can't address all the internet's questions. This is a fool's errand, but like last podcast, we talked about all the new games. But we didn't spend much time about Spooky, and they're like, "Oh, you guys didn't even talk about Spooky, and that's a new game." It's like, dude, did you listen to the last podcast before that? All we did was talk about Spooky. I don't know what to tell you. It's like, I go to the Spooky thread, and they're like, "Oh, these guys just hate Spooky. They trash Spooky." And it's like, I didn't wake up one day and decide to trash Spooky games. I've played their games since their first game, America's Most Haunted, and I was like, it's okay. For years we didn't really talk much about Spooky games because we kind of gave them the benefit of the doubt. We didn't have access to it. But then we started focusing on it more. We saw all these people buying pre-orders. We talked about this 2 years ago, all right? So anybody who's followed along in the podcast gets it. But the guy who just decides to tune into Buffalo Pinball for the first time, they're talking about Spooky or Scooby-Doo, I like this game. This is their first time they're hearing Nick and Kevin. It's like fucking going into John Wick 4 halfway through the movie and being, dude, why is Keanu Reeves shooting everybody? What an asshole. That's what you're acting like. Not you, Saul, but like the people like that. Like, look, we've given reasons through the years. We've had experience. We've backed it up. But if you just walk into a certain moment, then you're like, yeah, these guys are biased or whatever. But we always back it up with reason. We back it up with examples. We back it up with evidence. And we have different opinions sometimes. And we try to help and guide, and we do that in an entertaining way, right? Like, that's the key. This is a show about, it's informative, but it's also entertaining. And most people get that. But once in a while, I try to explain myself, just in case.
And sometimes, people tune in, and all they want to hear is, oh, I spent $10,000 on this pinball machine. I want somebody to reinforce the fact that I made a good decision. And I don't like what they're saying. So I'm going to threaten to flick his ears and call him an idiot and jump into his pinside DMs and threaten him.
Fine. Kevin's got me going. So, I get called. Just go to the GTF thing. I'm just expressing opinion about the game. First of all, like, my thumbs up are through the roof, right? Like, but this one guy, somebody said I'm an asshole. And I'm smug and everything, blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, listen, I'm very blunt. I give my opinion. Like, you never have to know, like, what is Nick thinking? And what's, like, that's reassuring to people. All right, then that guy was like, actually, you know what? I'm sorry, I went too far. I messaged him. I was like, all good. He's like, thank you. The other guy jumps in, and he's like, I wasn't going to say anything, but, yeah, I think he is an asshole and blah, 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 and, and all that. Okay. A day later, like a couple posts later, somebody else who knows me a little bit, like, was like, actually, I met Nick. He's a nice guy, blah, blah, blah. So some people were nice enough. Like, first of all, dude, we're in a hype thread. I say I don't like a game. Some people say they like a game. We talk about why. Why do I'm an asshole because I don't like your fucking adult toy? Dude, it's a toy. This is a toy. How do you handle life? This guy, like, he's got to be in his 60s or 70s who said this. Like, I don't like your toy. I'm sorry. I don't exist to validate your toys. This is not the show for that. There are podcasters who, I swear to God, will just say nothing but good things about games. And that's fine. Go listen to that. That's fine. That's a million podcasts. Listen to that. Anyways, This is when we get to Looney Tunes territory. He wrote to the guy who said I'm a nice guy and tried to convince him I'm an asshole. Then he wrote to me a DM saying I'm an asshole and saying in 10 years in Pinside he's never used profanity. So that meant a lot to me because I brought a man who's a couple decades older than me to use profanity on Pinside in 10 years. It's quite remarkable because I don't like GTF.
Achievement unlocked.
You're welcome. Also, I see Eric Minier's in chat. He owes us our check for shilling Godfather. So
let's go. Yeah, rewind to the beginning of it. Well,
that's right.
You know, it was probably about a half hour into the stream. We get all the Godfather talk back in there, but
we shilled the shit out of it, Eric.
Oh yeah, mine's right over there, just out of frame.
We also get people don't know this. We get a bonus cut though if we shit on Spooky and American Pinball.
Yeah, totally. Can I just say I love the people in, like they say, the Scooby thread. we're just chatting now. The people in the Scooby thread who are like, oh well, they're partnered with JJP and Multimorphic, so that's why they don't like our game.
That's why.
Oh, yeah,
that's
Dude, the
amount of cope. If you can bottle the cope that's going on in there and just sell it, exactly. You'd make a mint.
At one point I had more Bally's in my collection than anything else, but I'm only allowed to like those two manufacturers' games.
I own a big buck hunter from Stern Pinball from 2010 that's like 290th or something on Pinside. All right, like I own a Bad Girls Gottlieb. I don't know what to say. I will buy almost anything, but I won't buy Spooky. I won't do that.
Well, I think that's a great way to end it.
Kevin knows what he's doing. Kevin gets me. I was so good until the end. This is Kevin. Kevin dreams of this, and
I know my role in this equation.
All right.
All right. So if you haven't yet, we got merch is back. Exclamation point merch in chat, or visit buffalopinball.com. Click the merch button. You can get shirts, mugs, stickers, all sorts of cool stuff with the Bro logo or the Buffalo Pinball skull. You're only going to get it in black or almost black. Okay. I caved and I gave you like heather black. So if you don't want pure black, you can do that too, because that's how we roll. Also, follow us on all our social media channels. You got something to say?
No, you're doing a good job. You're shilling for Buffalo Pinball.
Follow us on the social media channels, Buffalo Pinball everywhere. Email us, talkpinball@gmail.com. If you want to flick Nick's ears or tell him he's an asshole, you can do it there. Or slide into his Pinside DMs. Or you can also say nice things, because we like that too.
By the way, I do see like comments on our YouTube channel where like somebody will say, "Hey, I got a Spooky. I've had no problems with that." That's great. Like I love hearing the anecdotal good stuff, or like here's why I like the game. Like dude, I fucking love that. That's great. Or people say, actually, I like to go on a podcast and hear a different opinion than my own. I don't always agree with Nick or Kevin, but it's interesting to hear. Like me too. I listen to people, and if I'm listening to somebody and I'm always agreeing with them, do I have my own opinion? Like, how is that even possible, right? Like, you should have a difference of opinion once in a while, and most people are mature to handle that. And listen, I love it and I'm sure plenty of people buy games that I don't like, and I buy games that they don't like, and it's all right. It's all good. Have fun. These are our toys. We're lucky to own them and have them and play them.
You play the games you like, we'll play the games you like, and we'll talk about the ones that we like and the ones we don't. If you want to do the same thing, start your own podcast. Everybody can have a podcast. It's the beautiful part of it. All right, don't forget you can follow us on Twitch. If you want to support the channel, you can subscribe to us there. If you have Amazon Prime, you get a free sub. You can take money from Jeff Bezos, give it to us at no extra charge to you. You can drop us a donation on PayPal, talkpinball or buffalopinball@gmail.com over there. Or if you want to support the channel, tell a friend. Tell them to listen to the podcast. Tell them to check out the streams. We give away tons of stuff on our Brody Even Pinball streams. Or you can give us a review on iTunes. That'd be cool too. No Topper Talk today. I'm sorry, because I gave Goran like an hour's notice and he's in Universal Studios. So stay tuned next month for Topper Talk. I know that's why you're all here. But thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out, and we will see you next month.
All right, guys. See ya.